The court, being duly advised, finds the defendant is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death.
Do you have any idea what their defense is going to be, given the fact that the judge is basically taking away their defense?
Am I the only person in the world talking about attacking the timeline,
Do you have any idea what their defense is going to be, given the fact that the judge is basically taking away their defense?
You're like, am I in crazy?
Challenge the timeline of the murders.
Talking about attacking the timeline.
What's the strategy today? Winning.
Whose motherfucking hair is that?
What's the strategy today? Winning.
The consensus has been challenge the timeline of the murders. Challenge the timeline of the murders.
Hi. Hello, everyone. How's my audio? How are we doing? How are we feeling? How many of us are coming from Teresa Criminality's channel with Mother Goose and Mother Teresa and needing to do a Krebin scream? Hi, woman. I'm going to say hi to all of my friends tonight because we're chilling. It's Friday. I can breathe, kind of. I want to talk about what else, y'all? Safekeeping. Having said that, I'm in no hurry. How's everybody's week go? How is everybody's week go? Please answer that question for me. Percosin is first. Hello, my love. Judgy. Hi, Judge Jessica. Please hit the like on your way in, folks. Hi, Belle Mayhem. Prof. Kate said, you can call me Kate. I will do it. I use my premium account for work, and I assume once an appropriate troll name I projected on the entire class, so I just keep it safe. Perfect. We will call you Kate. That is no problemo. Hi, Sharon Wright. Good to see you. Judgy says, I am wound the F up after that Teresa Live. Wow, I need this after show. That's what we do. That is what we do. I am frazzled. I said, we won't be okay. Hi, Mama Gritty. I need a new name for our kitten. I realized that Nightmare is a bit embarrassing to put on his neuter paperwork. I kind of love it. Nightmare. And then well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess you could call it whatever you want, but Nightmare, and then you could call it Mare for short, like Meredith, unless it's a male cat, in which case you could still call it Mare for Meredith. I love the name Nightmare, though. I really like it. My kids named our oldest cat Coco Von Numbington. Bet Noir. I like that. Hi, Marianne. Angel Ray. That's pretty. Oh, my God. Y'all, Pop Tarty's here. Pop Tarty, what's your favorite number? 1 to 9. And then whatever the answer is, we're all going to drop in the chat. I love you, Pop Tarty. I'm glad to see you. You got every single ornament off the tree, including the star. How did you manage that? Hey, Criminal Network. I triggered Criminal Network with the challenging the timeline. We were challenging the timeline of the murders. And you know what? It almost worked. Just kidding. It did not almost work. It was never gonna work, but we're gonna work it. We're gonna work it out. Woman doing chaos. I am in Gacy world. Bunches, 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 drifting on a memory. We know whose hair that is. Who's ya? Carbaugh flying down 3. That was definitely actually Sarah Carbaugh's car. Yep. What do we think? Is Sarah Carbaugh going to always forever be the testy, fiery, strawberry blonde redhead who fought with Andy Baldwin and said that Bridge Guy had effeminate eyes? Or are we going to live to see the vindication of Sarah Carbaugh? What do we think? I love to see a vindication, especially of a messy character. I love mess, especially when I'm not involved. Christina Jarvis. Hello, my friend. I have some more. I realized after our 4-hour Ron Logan Live 2 nights ago, which, by the way, some of the comments on pause. She's doing it already. Finish one thought first. Christina Jarvis. Hello. Thank you all who joined me the other night for our Ron Logan Live. I had a lot of fun. After I finished, I was like, that was so long and chaotic. And then throughout the next 2 days, I kind of watched bits and pieces of it here. Y'all, we did really good. We did really good, I think. Considering, I don't think anyone who doesn't already like us is going to watch a 4-hour live. So it was mostly just us hanging out. But I feel like we did pretty good. It wasn't as nearly as chaotic as I thought it was going to be. So, however, having said that, I'm not done. That was part 1, and I forgot to say that. We have some more pretty interesting tidbits that we need to cover. But I did want to talk about the state of Indiana's organized kidnapping of Richard Matthew Allen. Who here knows about the state of Indiana's organized kidnapping of Mr. Richard Matthew Allen? Anybody? It's quite a tale, and I'm going to tell it for us tonight. We're going to do a bedtime story. It's not really a bedtime story, though. It's more of a horror story. I'm really behind, so let me catch up. What is the Kelsey angle? Good question. I don't know. I just know that if I'm law enforcement and I got an unsolved murder, maybe not immediately if I feel like I can solve it other ways, but after year 1, year 2, if I'm putting out Hail Mary young guy sketches after 2 and a bit years, I'm going to test all the DNA I have, probably, even the ones that I'm like, what do I know? Hey, Rick. Meow. Hi, Sally. Hit the like button on the way in, please. I just did. K.O. Hi, Mom. Loud and clear. Screaming into Krebin. Kelsey got her wig snatched by Abby. Hello with all, and hi, Bree. My week go good. Excellent. Motive. Kate, such a good question. We'll get into it. Hey, Judy. Welcome, Judy Northern Johnson. Good to see you. Gritty's here. Everybody go subscribe to our BFF True Grit Crimes YouTube channel. Wonderful content, wonderful person, big, beautiful brain. Good to see you, Gritty. Did you cook dinner tonight? If you did, please let us know what it is. I often think of what Gritty's cooking. Or anyone. If anyone cooked anything fun tonight or recently or New Year's, if anyone did a fun New Year's thing, I want to talk about food because I have had COVID for 9 days. It's been awful. And I'm finally starting to get back some of my appetite and taste and smell. And I realized today, I just woke up and the first thing that I thought when I opened my eyes this morning was I need a steak. I wouldn't be able to taste it. It would not satiate me yet. I'm not quite ready for steak yet, but I was okay, we got some life coming back to us. I'm posting so many questions for Rosie to ask Jabroni. Awesome. Mar is here. Hi, Mar. I love Mar. I love all of you. Hey, Steve. Angel's everybody's favorite. Steve, Angel, and Devil, welcome. Hello, Bunny Murphy. Holman gets warrants. Never done a bing bong ever. No, Holman would never do a warrantless bing bong. He'd never do a warrantless arrest either. He'd never do anything nefariously or surreptitiously. I don't even think he could say those words. The truth, however, roots don't lie. Mother Meredith Marks. Knight Meredith. Navy is totally your color. Thanks. Thanks. This is the most comfy sweatshirt. Keep it I'm going to keep focused just for a few minutes, and then we can tangent. I can't handle listening to one more Holman interview. I struggle. Many of you know this. In my other life, I am a therapist. I'm not kidding. I really am. It's funny, I know. And I love it. It's great. I'm very fortunate. However, I use words all day long. I'm using words. I'm listening to words. I'm doing a communicate all day long. When it comes to trying to express to friends, family, colleagues, peers, cranks, when it comes to trying to put into words what it is that I feel, when I listen to Jerry Holman shamelessly, boldly, arrogantly, just like the buffoonery that comes out of this man's mouth, he lies. This man lies. And I can't even think of the words to express how it makes me feel. Like I glitch. That's why when you see me in chat, if you were with Treat, like it's just a lot of like this, and it's usually on the iPad. So it's like, I just can't fucking handle it. It really disturbs and disrupts my spirit, like the core of my being. It makes me feel sick. And it's kind of their baseline. And here's what I realized. And maybe this is not, maybe I'm giving him a little bit too much, credit or benefit of the doubt. But I had this epiphany. I've had it many times over the course of the last 3 years. Sometimes I'm reminded when listening to something like what we just listened to. The reason that this man, Jerry Holman, and his peers and of the likes of Jerry Holman, the reason they can lie so fluently without even kind of a problem is because they genuinely believe the shit they say. And that is what I think we miss sometimes, when it went with such a polarized case for many valid reasons, by the way. I think that sometimes polarization is necessary. With such a polarized case, sometimes I think it's important to remind myself, at least, like, these men, are they evil? Yeah. Are they corrupt? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. But it's like subconscious and implicit most of the time. It's just the way they operate. And that kind of blunts the sharp edges of the excruciation of listening to them. I don't know why. It just makes it a little bit easier to digest, because I'm like, they really believe this. Is it insane? Yeah. Is it a justification or an excuse? No. Woman says they don't believe it. I'm sure that's also true. But when Jerry says things like, I'm not corrupt, Steve Mullen is the best, most honest man I know. What else? I forget what. Oh, I'm not a hero, because he thinks he's a hero. Like, he really, really believes that they are not the villains. No one ever thinks they're the villain. So I really just feel like it's become just status quo, standard operating procedure. It's been going on for so long. It's just how they operate. Dishonesty has become like their baseline. They're believing their lies. That was a tangent, but I could name him Jerome. Oh, the kitty. Oh no, I don't know if I like that though, because Jerome, I feel like, has such a, like, we'd have to do like a sage beforehand. Actually, it's not a bad name, but it makes me think of Jerome Blowholman. So we'll have to sage it first. But okay, I'm getting a little snotty, which means I'm talking too fast. Who never called 911? What do you mean? Oh, the family. Got it. Hey, Walla O, my dear. Gangs up Sarah, come talk to us. Oh, I'm 15 minutes behind the chat. I'm going to zoom. Ronnie Truthers were on fire. Someone needs to name their pet Geo gag order. I don't hate it. Hey, Rebecca Ann, good to see you. Troll gummy worms rock. I really like gummies, which is bad because I don't have like the best tummy. I have like some tummy stuff, but I love gummy bears and gummy worms and Lifesaver gummies. Like, all things gummy I love, but that's tricky because, you don't want a gummy mass in your tummy, a tummy gummy mass. Don't you mean Craig? Hi, Kaleido Hope. I like that name. Judy is also wound up. Good way to put it. Absolutely true. Hi, Secret Antenna Podcast. Welcome. Rick Allen was kidnapped and tortured. Hold on one second, y'all. I was talking to my mommy. To anyone who was missing their parents this holiday season, we talked a little bit about that in T's chat yesterday, and I just wanted to say we didn't really do any kind of sentimental anything over New Year's or the holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. To all who are missing their families, I feel that, man. I feel like I miss my family. I also feel very grateful to have my family close by. So if you had a hard holiday, we love you. If you had a great holiday, we love you. I asked Rosie to ask Jerome how many female DNA samples they collected. That's a really good question because we heard about all this female DNA, but like, was it one person? Was it 3 people? Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate you. That's very generous. Supporting you as always. Shared on X. Your mascot is here. You guys are just the best. And I didn't even tell anyone I was doing this. Too sophisticated and delicate for this monster. He jumps on the dog's back. Hey, CT girl. Hi, Donnie. Good to see you, Donnie. I always love when I see Donnie's name in the chat because Donnie, I'm sure you remember this, but the first time that I met Donnie, like I got to actually see and talk to Donnie, was during the trial when the bombshell evidence was finally shared about the aux adapter plug headphone jack of Libby's phone being tampered with in the middle of the night. Donnie relayed that info. He got to break the news, and it was one, like, it'll probably be one of those recalls memories that I keep probably forever. I don't think that I will forget that anytime soon. It was just a wild moment, few moments. And most everybody in here was with us, with me and with us when that happened, which is cool. Here is Gritty's channel. Go subscribe. Hi, Michelle. Did she say meow? I did say meow. Buffalo chicken. That sounds good. I cooked a yellow curry and I accidentally used my new spatula and it's stained and I'm devastated. I hate that. It's tough because like cutesy kitchen stuff is so fun, but it's also like it's kitchen stuff. So, you know, you gotta do it careful because you're gonna stain it, especially with like pasta sauce. Man, dining on chips for dinner. Love it. Girl dinner. JC the Music Man, good evening. Bing Bong is a good cat name. It is a good cat name. I can't believe that I missed Criminalities Live. I took DTR and boyfriend to dinner. Oh, daughter and boyfriend to dinner for making it through med school. Wow, congratulations. Med school is insane. Med school is insane. That's quite an accomplishment. It's insane. It's like you think you're almost done and then you're like, nope, I still have more school. Lawyer Lee is having defense attorneys on Wednesday. Nice. Any kind in particular, Jamie? Is it like any that we would know of, or is it just like a group, a panel? What's it going to be? I really like Lawyer Lee. I had a little bit of some like I had to work through some feels for Lawyer Lee during the trial, just because of like my own the way that I felt like I wanted to cover the case. I kind of was imposing that on other people. You know, it happens. But I really appreciate her. She is a whippersnapper and she is smart AF. Very smart. We got a lot of smart people. Congrats, Sally. He is ping pong. Up the curtains across the road, jumps into Christmas. Holman is so full of shit. Hi, Mama J. It's crazy to see the shamelessness of it all. It's disorienting. It's destabilizing because most people have at least a nominal level of like self-awareness and like we as people experience shame, right? Shame and guilt are two very different feelings, although they can be similar and related. They're very different, right? Guilt is I did something bad, so I feel bad about it. Shame is I did something bad and therefore, ooh, I might be bad, right? Like it's kind of like a deeper, more identity focused feeling. And it's not particularly a productive feeling. However, it can help to keep us within the parameters of like not causing and inflicting harm on other people, right? We don't want to be ostracized or shamed, right? So it kind of keeps us within the rumble strips of what a functioning kind of healthy society should look like and behave like. Jerry doesn't have that. People like Jerry Holman and Gall, they don't really have shame. It's a real shame. They're just kind of shameless. It's insane. Hey, Gina Baudet, the good Baudet. It's so good to see you. I feel like I haven't seen your name in a little bit. So I'm really happy to see you. Jerome's face matches his personality. It's getting worse. It's getting like even boxier, like somehow, which I didn't think was possible. Hey, Rotstar. Look at your dog. Oh my goodness. Holman stated that he basically knows nothing about nothing, yet he is an investigator. Make that make sense. I can't. I can't. It is the ties that bind. They have been allowed to run amok for so long, and they won't admit it. It pisses me off. I totally agree. Luke is here. Hey, curious Luke. Mr. Holman's just one of the many manipulative narcissists that live rent-free in my head. Will they ever leave? Surely this can't be just be life now. Welcome to Krebin, Luke. Fiend, thanks for the invite. I know, I didn't invite anybody. Not even Fiend, not even the Weird Cat. I almost didn't even tweet it out. But I did. I was not sure if I was going to do a live. I was starting to get like tired. And then I felt rage from listening to Criminality and Sleuthy do by the way, Teresa, Criminality, Mother Teresa, Sleuthy too, but Teresa's whole Jerry Holman impersonation, rendition of Jerry Holman, fire. There were moments that it was so good. She was so good and in character that I hated her. Like forgot I wasn't listening to Holman. Criminality. She was really good. And that was a long interview. They really did a good job. Kitty called him a Jero. They think the more that they say it over and over again that we'll start to believe it. That is 100% what they do. They say it over and over and over and over, and they have lost sight of, they're so insulated in their little world, right? Their ethnocentric little tiny Delphi, the center of the universe. Truly, it is to them. They are the most important entity that exists. And they have forgotten, they've lost the plot. They have lost all sense of other, like they don't even realize that their shit doesn't work on normal people. Like when you leave the bubble of Delphi, Carroll County, and even like the incestuous little pod of this group of men in Indiana, like when you exit that, the world outside of that little pod, like we're not impressed. We just kind of find them weird. We find them very, very odd, and kind of unserious, and if it were not such a horrific and serious crime, the subject matter is so serious, it's even more unacceptable that they're just fucking clowns. You can't just say something over and over. You can't just bully and berate and like bull rush your will onto people who have their own brains. And the people in Carroll County, a lot of them are smart and they can think for themselves. But why would they? Look what happens to those who think for themselves there. 12 jurors convicted an innocent man. They won. It feels that way, Criminal Network. It does feel that way, and I'm pissed tonight. So we're going to talk about it. He does think he's a hero. Hello, all you beautiful people. Hi, Nat. It's good to see you. Alex Wagner. I haven't seen you in a while. Alex Wagner. Alex Wagner goes way back on the R&M channel. You are seriously so pretty. You are seriously so pretty. Thank you. All of you here are the most beautiful Imagine if we could all just hang out. What do we think would happen? I don't even know. I don't even know. Sarah Carbo never called 911. Yeah, that's weird. Hey, Lindsay. Jerry, when I listen to you, I feel provoked and aggravated. Let's do a feelings wheel. I'm going to finish saying hi, and then I'm going to pull up the feelings wheel, and we're all going to pick a feeling as to how we felt when we listened to that. They know they aren't going to admit to what they know and what they do. Yeah. Alibi, probable cause, and nexus. The trifecta. The trifecta of buzzwords. And they don't even, I don't know, maybe they think they know what they mean. This was a work. This was a work. This was a work. Can we all admit that now? Gummy gut. Gummy gut. Gummy gut. Did y'all see what's happening in the West Memphis 3 case? I did a tweet. I don't know if y'all follow me. If one of my mods wants to link my Twitter account, I know not everybody likes Twitter. I don't blame you, but I like it. I use it, and it's also just like the habit that I'm in for communicating with the masses and doing my, rants. So get a Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Follow all of us on Twitter. But I tweeted because I saw an article or a news clip that they're finally going to be testing that DNA that they fought so relentlessly for, I think all the way up to the Supreme Court in Arkansas. If I got the state wrong, I'm sorry. Man, it's cool when defendants who are making reasonable asks in the name of justice are actually heard, actually get to see those things come to fruition. And I just am hopeful, and I hope it works out for them. Corruption being called out. Yes. They hid Rick so that his lawyer couldn't find him. Bingo, Kosin just summarized the entire life. Well, I guess I can go now. There was a really funny comment on the Ron Logan video that we did as a collective family the other night. It was like, oh man, imagine spending 4 hours on a live and being wrong about everything. And I laughed. So like, there are some commenters that are like really, really mean, like just like really mean, but like comments like that, like troll comments and people who clearly like wrong about everything. Am I wrong about him killing them? Maybe, but like, how can you be wrong about like objective? You know what I mean? Like it'd be like showing you like my sweatshirt and be like, it's blue. And you're like, oh, you're wrong. It's like, huh? Anyway, I wanted to comment and be like, imagine how silly I feel. But it really does. Like I do get a kick out of some trolls are they're funny. And I don't want to say that because it encourages them, but like, they're really funny. Can you tell I either didn't take my focus supplements or I did and they're not functioning anymore. I didn't even plan to do a live tonight, so we're just going to wing it. Steve says, I was alone for both Christmas and New Year's. I'm sorry, Steve. I have spent, I think I told you this, when I moved like as an adult, like my first holiday in like a new place by myself. I had Boone though. So, but I was sad. But then when the time came to like go and like spend the holiday, like I like went out to a restaurant and I actually had like such a nice time. I hope that you had a nice holiday, Steve. It was really cool for us to get to like actually see your face and meet you and Angel and Devil. I missed Ricky or Kathy. Yeah. Oh, that just got me. Judy says, I miss both of my parents. I feel that. Ange held us hostage and then ditched us. Froppy and friends, you're so pretty. Thank you. That's nice. Sounds right. Wait, when did I do that, Fiend? I have my iPad with the chat, so here I am, and there we are. There's all of us. So I can read the chat and like be caught up in case something like really important or not important, But then I go slow on this one so I can like be intentional and read everything. So I don't know what you mean, Fiend, about ditching you. That does sound like something I would do, by the way. I have no reason to think that that's not entirely the case, but when? I met Donnie in line. Nice. I'm so jealous of the Indianans or the people that have decided to and chose to and make the sacrifice to attend the trials or the hearings. I just think that's so cool. It's so cool to meet people that you feel like you know, and you get to meet them in person. I had that experience. Aha, Fiend, can I share about? I think I've told this story before. Am I allowed to say how we kind of met at Groundswell, even though you like waited until we were all leaving to tell me who you were? Do you know what I'm talking about? So I've told this story a million times. When we went to Groundswell, November 2023, we organized a demonstration at the Supreme Court of Indiana to protest the due process violations in Rick's case and to ask the Supreme Court to reinstate Brad and Andy, to what else were we asking? Reinstate Brad and Andy, remove Judge Gull, restore the fucking record of the case, and something else I don't remember. Anyway, so we were in, Courtney and I we traveled from our places where we live to Indiana, and the day of Groundswell, we had a really cool, awesome group there, and I saw Fiend. I knew Fiend from Twitter, but this individual that introduced himself by his first name, which I won't say, but introduced himself by his first name. And I was like, so nice to meet you, first name person. And then as we're leaving, he's like, oh, by the way, I'm Fiend on Twitter, Phoenix on Twitter. And I was like, you son of a bitch, because I didn't have that context the whole day. He was just this mystery person who cared a lot about due process. Anyway, all that to say, make sure you're not in Top Chat. I ditched you all for New Year's Eve countdown. I know. But like I'm with my mom for the time being. It's been really nice to get to spend some quality time with mom. And so I went and I watched the countdown with my mom and my sister, who lives in Alaska, who FaceTimed us because she was watching the Northern Lights just like randomly doing their whatever they do. It was amazing. So cool. Okay, I'm going to speed up a little bit. I turned my white Bowie shirt blue by washing it with my new jeans. Nice. Hey, Pearl Picker, the jury was threatened, not convinced. I have a lot of questions about the jury. Am I blurry? Guys. Somebody commented, tweeted at me after our Ron Logan live and was like, what did they say? If they're in here, I'm sorry to blow your spot. But they were like, wow, horrible. You are all over the place. I was like, that's so mean, but it's true. I personally know Rick Allen's first lawyer. The whole situation is messed up. Froppy and Friends. Are the initials BG actually of his first lawyer? Hey, Corner Piece. Good to see you. I just got a message from you, and I haven't had a chance to respond, but I'm going to, and it's nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Hot Pocket says, I didn't get a notification. I missed the first 30 minutes, which means you didn't miss anything, because I haven't even gotten the engine running yet. I'm trying to figure out how to make myself less blurry. Maybe sometimes if I put my face really close, and then I back up, and then I come close again, it refocuses. But it does take a minute. Sometimes you're unsure of the vibe at first. She didn't say the time yet. What time? Didn't even watch the Holman interview. I can't. I love the recreations and the transcripts that the community put out because it's really, really disruptive and disturbing and distressing to sit through them. Who was his first lawyer? HTC is that interview. And this has nothing. I'm not even speaking to I will say I don't love. If we're gonna dunk on somebody, we should dunk on them based on the merits or lack of merits of their whatever. Actually, I'm not gonna police what y'all do. I personally really don't love the physical appearance dunks because it's just not relevant. Somebody can be the goofiest looking person in the world and be the coolest, dopest person in the world. However, unless you're Jerry Hallman or, a state actor. But that interview was 100% written by Jerry Hallman, right? He wrote that interview. He's like, here's a way to literally just platform myself. Do you know what Jerry Hallman should really do? Start a YouTube channel, Jerry. You can't stop fucking talking about it. You have a lot to say. He would probably actually, he would pull mad bitches and do mad numbers on YouTube. So we should start a petition for him. Get Jerome on YouTube. Can I do an IQ dunk? Says Brie. Yes, please. I love all kinds of dunks and like whatever. You know, some people are so god awful that I have a hard time really caring how they're dunked upon. But I think women, we have like such a hard time just like in society that like, even if I hate your guts, I'm going to really, really try to keep my argument based on like the things that I hate about you that are unrelated to your goofy appearance. Because I'm just so evolved. No, we all know that's not true. Y'all saw the leaked group chats, I'm sure. Pearl Picker. I cannot stand. Give you credit for watching. Lawyer Lee was hard for me to read. Seemed a bit impartial. Yeah, which like I guess is like, I guess technically like that's good, but that's not how I operate, obviously. When it comes to something like Rick, I'm like, no, you have to be fervent and obnoxious about it. When you get a chance, remember to check your inbox, please. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, y'all, if y'all ever send me, so I am really, 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 really bad at checking my email and checking my Twitter DMs. So because I will not check it until I know that I have like the time to really sit down and read it and respond, because if I don't respond when I see it, so sometimes it takes me a minute to even open my Twitter DMs that I have. So like if you have messaged me on Twitter or emailed me, do not ever hesitate to send me a bump. And what I mean, I don't mean like a Cletus McClelland booger sugar bump. I mean like just like, but send me another one or tag me or remind me or bug me. Like you please do a harass if I'm not getting back to you, which because it just means that I've, you know. I will check those, Steve. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Rick Allen's first attorney's name is Johnny. Imagine. I imagine no shame comes from low self-awareness, which comes from holding a lot of power in small towns despite pitiful credentials. Yeah, big fish, small, pitiful pond. Big pitiful fish, small pitiful pond. I totally agree. I like that analysis, Bree. It's a pretty good take. Low self-awareness. Yeah, no one ever holds them to account. You know, they're not challenged. We have to be challenged if we're going to do a smart, right? If we're going to do a grow. Hey, Jimmy. Goblin Mom besties, I love you all so much. I love you too. I'm so glad to see you all. Criminality. Teresa's pauses and tone was spot on. Yeah, it was. Everybody is safe in Krebin. Hey, me passenger 33. I will light the candles. Bob Mata and Andrea act like Rick Allen never existed. I hear you. I hear you. I think the thought of Rick being forgotten or momentum waning is so god awful to even think about. I try and just remember like, okay, like we have lives, we're busy, but it's hard. It's hard because like if you're here on a Friday night at 10:40, you know, we're probably really, really, really invested. And so, yeah, it's a scary thing to think about. We cannot slander Andrea. She's on vacation in another country. Good for her. Guilt trip people with your phrasing. Bob runs a podcast. Oh, Bob Mata has a new podcast out. Has anyone listened to it yet? I haven't had a chance to listen to it. He dropped like at least, I know that the premiere was this week. I don't know anything about that case, so I was like, it's time to ingest a new case. So I was going to listen. Has anyone listened yet? I'm going to this weekend, or at least I'm going to start. Songbird Land. Yes, Judge Jessica. Songbird Land. Something songbirds. I like how Jerry admitted his anger and rage was so prominent in this case that he completely lost control of other emotions. Yeah, that interview was very illuminating. The one that we just listened to over on T's channel. He admits I had like the fact that he would admit I had no intention of, I didn't plan to arrest him that day. The most high profile, expensive, well-known, controversial, high lethal, like just horrific murder case investigation in Indiana history. Year 5+, you think that you might have identified the killer or an involved party, and you're gonna just raw dog the arrest, freeball it? You're just gonna wing it? That's actually a perfect kind of micro representation of how he has conducted this entire investigation. Cluelessly, zero planning and forethought, incompetently, totally reactive, emotion-based, ego-driven, impulsive, immature, vindictive, self-important, and void of any and all humility, zero ability to accept influence, just the fucking worst human. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment. Yeah, these attorneys are super busy. I can't even imagine. Amber says, new here, liking your channel so far. Amber KR, please let us know what your favorite number is from 1 to 9. It's such a weird thing that I do. I don't know who started that. It's just like a weird thing. I like it though. It's fun. Welcome, Amber. I'm glad you're here. The Rockaways tried to leverage emotion to justify skirting the law and constitutional rights. That's their only ace. That's it. All they do. Do we think the planning started before? After the arrest or before? 10:43. I was supposed to start at 10, 43 minutes behind schedule. So right on schedule, basically. In 5 minutes, we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about, I actually made a timeline. I did a prepare. I went through and I collected as many news articles and tweets that I could find. I tried to backtrack and trace the very, very first earliest breaking news releases, updates about the arrest in Delphi. The earliest that I have found thus far is 11 a.m. on the 28th. So maybe we can do a community project later. But I just kind of tried to piece together what probably happened to Rick. And actually, yeah. Hey, Jake Snyder. Welcome, Jake Snyder. Everybody say hey to Jake Snyder. Jake Snyder, did you get my email? I think I sent it. I know I drafted it. If you didn't get it, let me know and I'll go actually send it. But it's good to see you, Jake. I'm glad you're here. I hope you had a nice holiday. Big ass party. I would be doing 10-minute lives every night if I had the amount of followers if I had their amount of followers to help Rick out. Bro, I'd be doing 10-hour lives if I could. I get so excited when oh my gosh, we have 129 people, y'all. I was about to say I get really excited when we get close to 100. 129 on a Friday? That's what's up. What's up, the Royal We? They haven't assembled the appellate team yet, have they? They are assembling as we speak, Kate. So hopefully we'll get a good update. Odd. Hi, Michelle N. Odd. Did anyone do an odd tally in the Holman Hidden True Crime interview? I know that we were kind of, we've talked about doing an odd tally. There was probably at least 20, right? Does that feel fair? 20 odds? That man dropped a lot of odd.
I counted 21 myself.
Yeeb. I thought you were going to be in dreamland. Hello.
I haven't dreamt in years, when you live the dream, life is the dream.
Oh my God. That's beautiful. That's really nice.
Thank you.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
You know, I'm feeling so much better than I was feeling this time last week. This time last week, I was pretty much ready to accept death. It was disgusting. So I feel good.
Well, as the great financier and Wall Street mogul Dave Ramsey would say,
Oh, Jesus.
doing better than I deserve.
Oh, my God. Dave Ramsey.
You,
DB would drop a
very fiscally Dave Ramsey. Did you know that?
Because I don't do a credit card. Because I keep all my money in the fucking sock. Next. I am Dave Ramsey. That's true. That's true. I wonder what that's about. We'll unpack that another time.
This is DB low light here.
I like it. It's like sepia toned.
Yeah, or sepia tone.
Is it sepia? Hey, DB. DB Beans, is that your Tumblr?
That was my Tumblr. Now I'm refreshed.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Fuck MVAC, dude. Hey, listen, can I go off on MVAC? Don't care. Gun anyways.
Yeah.
Listen, if you have an object that has holes in it, that's weaved like a fabric, let's say it's a tightly woven fabric, right? And say that it's something that maybe some people have touched in the course of its commerce through interstate means, and you use MVAC on it, which means you're putting a solution on it. You're soaking it, right? And you're then extracting all the liquid that's been inside of it. And you're searching for single skin cells. One skin cell. And then you're testing it. And that becomes a connection to a crime. Isn't that kind of wild? This is not derailing from Ricky because they could have used MVAC to get one skin cell.
Well, I was going to ask you because I just learned what this was like today or yesterday. Can you do like a 3 or 5 sentence overview of what MVAC is? Because I didn't know. So maybe someone else doesn't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, it's a type of COVID vaccine. I'm just kidding.
So it's useless, basically. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
It's fake.
It's like
so
the moon landing.
It's like when you soak a piece of evidence in a solution, like some type of sterile liquid, most likely, and you suck the liquid out of it, and then it gets filtered, and then all the cells that are in it that are human cells are then tested against, like for DNA. And then all of a sudden, one single skin cell that can be done through innocent transfer can now connect somebody who otherwise would have no connection.
And it's not a good connection because it doesn't necessarily, like, there's many, many reasons that a skin cell could be somewhere without meaning that that person had anything to do with like a crime, right?
Yeah, and as woman doing internet bickering points out, the Mormons do love soaking. So I think it is interesting that this technique and instrument was invented by the Mormon Church because it was soaking.
Are you fucking with me? Is that true? The Mormons did not invent MVAC.
Are you
Don't
sure?
answer that. No, they didn't.
Can you prove that they did it right now off the top of your head?
No, no, I can't. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that they didn't. So.
Okay, fine.
Hey, Kitty says, thank you. Just joining. I found this channel from Twitter recently. Welcome, Kitty. Glad you're here.
Wait, is that Hello Kitty herself?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes, Madam Hello, Madam or Mr. or Kitty, whatever. Playing a game on my... Sorry, go ahead, DB.
Here's one mouth. A little kid in Bangladeshi sweatshop has his DNA in every crime scene ever.
What?
Okay.
Where?
I'm
what
sure
is
that's...
That? Oh, because like it just like travels and transfers? Yeah.
Huh, Kitty says hello. Very, very clever Hello Kitty.
Hello, Kitty. Scales of Injustice is also here, mostly a lurker, but hi, hello.
Dude, I love a mostly lurker. What up?
I love mostly lurkers. HTC, smash or pass.
Smash, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I like to give them the old fog test on the mirror, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If I put a mirror close to their face and it fogs up, they pass.
I failed that test the first time you administered it. I didn't know what you were fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Gilman says, I used to live in Delphi and I worked at Indiana Packer. So the green handkerchief makes me think of all the girls who wore them under our hard hats daily. I had hundreds of them. A sweatband, huh?
Were they all green? Or just like various different kinds of hankies?
Let's just look. I'm gonna look. Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana Pack, because they have very distinct helmets there.
They do. They do. Oh, do y'all remember that true crime? What was that spooky Delphi channel before? It was like an old,
Crime
like
bullshit.
before. No, it was the one that did like the geocache theories and the pig slaughter theory, the Packers theories. I can't remember. It was creepy. The voice, of really deep voice.
True crime psychopaths.
No, but he did a lot of Packers videos, and it's a scary. I mean, someone's got to do it, you know, for the pork eating, and it's a true crime Jesus. Thank you. 2 years in my mouth.
True crime Jesus.
Yeah.
Two initials next to each other.
You never watched True Crime Jesus?
No, I haven't, but I did watch the other
you're
person that was mentioned a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Brian Phillips
We're
called
not gonna.
May 9th bomb threat into his employer, Indiana Packers Corporation in Delphi. Dude, don't do that. What's this guy up to these days?
Hey, Court of Public Opinion, good to see you. Court of Public Opinion keeps me informed on many things, but something with Latrell DB, I don't know if you're following that, and I just saw Cat pop in here too.
No.
Yeah, it's wild.
Did you see the latest?
From today?
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but I do, and that, which brings me to my point. Hello, Court of Public Opinion. Welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for sharing all of the important things you share with me. I read them all. It just sometimes takes me a minute, but I have not read that one yet. Is it bad?
I mean, it's par for the course. I mean, they basically said that Latrell and the other person, not Cockrell, but somebody else, one of the other prosecutors, immunity was applicable. So they basically reversed the lower court's decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds about right. So, love that.
Dude. I was hoping I could find a green handkerchief on somebody. Ooh, that's... Oh, shit.
What? Oh, Jessica's coming.
Oh, no. I blocked her, Jessica. I'll unblock Jessica.
Stop it. Did not.
No, I didn't. That's a lie.
Sup with Lutz. Judgy wants to know, sup with Lutz. Divulge.
Soak with what?
What's up with Lutz?
Oh, Latrell. Yeah, basically, I guess he just... I guess he just... He slid by. He slid, dude. He did a slime. He got out. He maneuvered.
Man, there's no justice, basically, right?
Ain't that about a bitch, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's she up to?
Oh, you found. Oh, is that the... Okay, I see what you mean. Matt Sullivan is here. Hi, Matt. I love you. Matt, we were just talking about True Crime Jesus. Hey, Mandy.
True Crime Jesus.
This company really focuses on its workers. Talk about a pull quote.
I mean, but that's a green, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder, is that the green that was being referenced? That's quite distinct. You know, it sticks out.
Didn't they say something about it being like somewhat like not fluorescent, but It is green. It's this almost the same green as Quantum Brain's profile picture.
I love green. Green's my favorite color, DB.
Is it really?
Various different, like many different shades of green, greeny blues. But yeah, green is my favorite. I love green.
Oh, it's good to know.
It's a good color. Pig meat. Could have been the other YouTube channel, Delphi Demented, Delphi Damned, Demonic Delphi After Dark. Only in Carroll County, you bring in Latrell and he helps you instead of hurting your credibility. Yeah, when Nick went in front of the country in the national news conference and said, to Mr. Latrell, I could not have prosecuted. There's no way. He was like, there's no way I could have pulled this off without you. And I'm thinking like, yeah.
Did I just cough?
I know. No.
Oh, sorry.
I forgive you. You didn't, though. You did not transgress.
Oh, very well. I do think that's fucking hilarious when they're like, we couldn't have pulled it off without you. It's like, how many people could you have not pulled it off with? We're up to 6. If 6 people, their tiny little interactions and their tiny little decisions could not have been solved without it, I think maybe you guys are embellishing a little bit, over embellishing even.
They've got everything but evidence, honestly.
And grammar, which I mean, I'm Luke. I know I'm not good at grammar. So
why do you say that?
I need Grammarly.
You are fine at grammar. In fact, I'd say you're above average. Definitely above average.
Maybe Luke is just being an elitist to my above average skills.
Well, Luke is above average, but yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, he's fucking British.
British? I know.
They think, their English is real.
A nun-prison planet is emerald green. A nun-prison planet. A nun-prison planet.
Okay, did you see the article on Carroll County of Comments?
Yeah, yes.
The letter to the defense team.
Huh?
What?
Is it the one you just sent me?
Yep.
I have not read it. Unless T read it on her live. I don't know if that was.
I don't think she did.
Yeah, well, should we read it? Should I read it?
I'll read it right now.
Okay. And then I am going to do a kidnapping conversation. You can help me. Doesn't that sound fun? Or you can not.
Well, you're going to do a kidnapping?
Look at the live title, the title of the live.
Oh.
The live and its title.
The state organized kidnapping of Richard M. Allen. Oh.
Yeah, they did a kidnap. They kidnapped unto him.
Hey, don't talk shit about Python, dude, first of all.
The state is the... Oh, yeah. Yeah. DB does a bad grammar sometimes. Maybe he needed Latrell to bribe the jury. He didn't have enough... They sure are. DB writes Python code. That's my only issue. Oh, is that like a basic?
Yeah, he thinks that he writes JavaScript. He's elite.
JavaScript.
He creates React apps.
Wow.
Anyways, I'm gonna read this article really quick. It's really fucking stupid. It's short. There's no visuals to it. If you wanted to follow
so you're just gonna do a read. No, read it to us in your DB voice. That sounds nice.
Okay. I'll share it too really quick for those who need it.
Yeah. Well, he bing-bonged himself. It happens to the best of us. We get a little too overzealous. We get a little too excited. And sometimes we do a bing-bong. Hey, man.
I said, not today, motherfuckers. Nice try. They try to get me. I just seen them connect to my server, and I sent them over to North Korea.
Yeah. Good job. Nice.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
What a nice article here. The following is an editorial by journalist Amy Graham McCarty. Amy Comey Barrett. The editorial mentions photos. What?
Don't fucking start with me tonight with that. I'm muted.
Sorry about that. I had to get a drink of water. My wrists are healed up. There are photos circulating on social media that have been posted to an app called Threads. The images posted December 20th show Brian Alvey, an investigator hired by Richard Allen's defense team, with a photo framed of the Monon High Bridge. In the image are flowers placed at the beginning of the bridge in memory of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Allen was convicted of killing the girls after following them across the pictured bridge. As second photo shows, Alvey with the framed photo and Andrew Baldwin, one of Allen's public defenders. The date of the framed image is unknown. Yeah, no shit. No one actually knows that any picture of the bridge was taken ever. The framed image appears to be a gift from Alvey to Alvey from Allen's defense team. 3 individuals have signed it. One of those signatures states that it is Baldwin's. The inscriptions read, "To the only man I know that could track down the infamous," in parentheses, the comment would not name the individual as they were not charged with any crimes.
What?
Did not testify in court.
Fucking
You
nerds, dude.
Yeah, for real. Fucking, you're so cool, dude. Your journalism is so journalistic. You are truly a hound dog. Thank you for your efforts, and I hope we can run it back after Rick's appeal. This is believed to be the signature of Bradley Rosie, defense attorney, dated 121824. Brian, a.k.a. That stands for also known as Luke. It's a American thing. The comment will not name the individual as they were not charged with any crimes and did not testify in court. Finder.
They're so fucking weird.
Weird, dude. It's like a Michael Osbrook footnote in the middle of their fucking in the subject's name here. For many, many hours in the woods, uncomfortable conversations and death-defying bridge crossings, and especially your drive and devotion. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to the next trial. This is believed to be the signature of Jennifer Auger, defense attorney. Brian, your work on Delphi case was instrumental for us to have any chance of winning. We will need you for round 2, so thank you for not falling through the cracks of the high bridge all these trips you walked across. Appreciate you so much. In this case, you can't read my illegible Andrew Baldwin. No matter which side of the well you stand on, I can't imagine a place where these photos are appropriate. They are disgusting, simply put.
What photos?
Journalism. Oh, you guys haven't seen these photos?
What are they photos of? Just the bridge? And the dudes?
Yeah. Aluminium. I mean, I snort aluminum dust. Can't you tell? I sent you the thread. It's
yes, so they're literally, it's just the bridge with the signatures like around it, and then maybe a picture of like the actual, like Andy and the investigator, right? Is that it?
Yeah, it's just cool. I'll show you. I'll show you guys after this.
What's not appropriate about that? It's just the bridge.
Yeah, it's a place in. Amy Comey Barry wrote this.
They worship it. Stop acting like it's not their literal fucking, like the shrine of Delphi. Why are they acting like they have a problem with it now?
Yeah.
It's weird.
This chick says she's acting like they autographed the crime scene photos. Dude, it's so fucking weird. Okay, where was I? No matter which side of the well you stand on, lady.
That's not a saying, is it?
I don't think so.
I think she made it. I'm gonna Google it.
Well, they say the bar. Which side of the bar? Because the bar separates the well of the court and the pews. you know? The pews of the court. The court
Which
of
side
God.
of the well? Like, I guess, but like, people that are reading the comment aren't gonna know what the fuck she's talking about. Like, just fucking. I miss Deb really bad. Deb Lowe. If anyone read like pre and post Deb Lowe comment, it's entirely different. It's not even the same fucking newspaper. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. Sorry, were you done?
No, there's worse.
Okay.
They are disgusting, simply put. That's journalistic. Simply put.
That's like putting debunked in a title of a like motion. They are disgusting, simply put. She's talking about the attorneys or the pictures or both.
I can't imagine a place where these photos are appropriate. They are disgusting. What photos? We're talking about one picture.
It's just the bridge with the
It's a
signatures
picture
on
of the
it.
bridge, and it's a nice picture of the bridge. It's clearly not even close to the crime scene. Like,
It's a beautiful
time
picture. In fact, there's flowers on the bridge, like
for
in
the
memory
girl.
of. Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Don't they have anything else to talk about? This is their identity, DB. This is truly
No,
they
look,
have
yeah, they do.
canonized.
Can you
Okay,
see
go ahead.
the other articles?
Not
Right here.
really. Oh yeah, there. Oh there, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's load more. Oh my god,
Dude, it's true. Like, what is going to become of this place when this is over? You know, because
it is over.
Rick's appeal.
I mean, fuck.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's not over for Rick, but it's over for Delphi. What did they get? I mean, regardless, they got what they wanted. They got their monster. Move on, right? It's not going to happen. All they talk about is closure and wanting to move on, and yet scroll down again, DB, please. Okay.
What?
Like, just like this is it. This is
We
it.
got a little
All
6
six.
for 6 over here, dude.
We're 6 for 6. Jeez.
I mean, it is the related story section, but you know, let me just bang the rest of this out like this.
Yeah, go ahead. Bang it.
God, dude. Okay, I've reported the facts since the beginning, covering the deaths of Abby and Libby. I have sat in court, watched the videos, and listened to the girl's voice change pitch in fear. Listen to the girls' voices change pitch in fear. I have seen the gruesome crime scene photos, and I have seen the sterile autopsy photos. I have watched families of 2 young girls grieve as they listened to the last words of their daughters, granddaughters, cousins, and nieces be spoken as they tried to escape their killer. I have watched as loved ones collapse their heads in their hands as sobs echoed through the courtroom at the sight of their precious girls exposed for the world to see. I do not care if you think law enforcement did a great job or a terrible job. I do not care if you think Richard Allen is innocent or guilty. What I care about is what appears to be the mockery of a sacred place where the family and community can grieve and remember the innocent.
They worship it, DB.
I mean, this appears to be a photo of a shrine.
They worship it.
Of 2 young girls who had just gone for a walk and whose lives were brutally taken. Carroll County is just beginning to heal. That's true. Doug Carter said it's time to heal. Stop with the rhetoric. What I care. Carroll County was just beginning to heal. Nonsense like this victimizes the families in the community all over again. Abby and Libby's lives are not a joke to be played with. They were precious young girls with an entire livia to live. They were smart, they were courageous, and they were brave. They were better than any individual who would think a gift like this is appropriate. Be
Did
better.
you know them, Amy?
Be
Did
better.
you know them? They've been dead for 8 years, and you didn't know them, and they have been dead for 8 years. they are literally, they have gone from worshiping whatever the fuck to literally they have canonized and like bastardized what? Oh, hey, Doug Carter. I know. I love Doug Carter. Hey, Doug Carter's brother was like the head of the Indiana prison system.
Yeah.
Like the what? So all of the time we spent wondering who could possibly have the pull.
You talking
Fuck
about?
me.
He was in charge of the ISP, and that guy was in charge of the ISP.
Doug Carter is literally in charge of the ISP, and his brother is the former. What is it? It's not a superintendent, is it?
Commissioner.
Commissioner of Indiana prison system.
Yep.
Doug Carter is is Oz, the wizard.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Behind the curtain. Yeah. Well, you think about it, like he is the most powerful, and he's also the most smarmy and I don't know, unsettling. I thought about that. You're literally your corrections, law enforcement, royalty family. They are just, it's in their blood, man. He could literally do whatever he wanted. He could make a call and in 10 minutes have Rick transferred somewhere. You know what I mean? That's the answer. And Doug Carter and Holman are, I don't know what that allegiance is about, but Doug Carter's a really bad fucking man. A man of zero integrity. And he's scary. He's like a mafia boss, except he's a dumb and weird one. Anyway, odd article. I couldn't agree more. Why are they so mad that it's just it's like doing a Kathy Shank's daughter when she was like, Rick is not from here. He brought evil to our door, and we rebuke him in the name of Ron Logan. Like, you people are.
You guys ready to see this despicable photo?
Yeah, please show it. That's a beautiful picture.
I also think this little lanyard over here says Merry Christmas. So that's very Christ-like.
Oh my God. Well, that would offend them there because they're godless in every sense of the word. So
here we can see what's actually inside of these parentheses, aka Elvis Finder, which is apparently just absolutely too salacious to even put in the fucking thing. Hey guys, you ever heard of the website Threads? I mean, some of you might have just heard about this website for the first time. Right? Did anyone fucking know about this?
Judgy is this is my favorite energy of, yes, period. But the energy of Judgy right now, this is my favorite Judgy. Give it to me, Rachel. They own Christianity, actually. So, whomst did they steal these images from? Whose, Facebook or private, or not private, but personal account? Like, who did they? So where'd they snatch these from to do a smear?
Brian Alvey's threads.
So that's fucking weird.
I don't do a Threads.
All they do is stalk social media, and it's like they're obsessed with social media.
Yep.
They're obsessed with it.
Oh my God. Judge just
go ahead.
Deep into the Dr. Peppers again.
DB, do you do a Dr. Pepper?
I don't.
You really do, like, you're more of a fan of like a sugar-free, like a diet or a zero, right?
100%.
Yeah, me too.
I do aspartame.
Me too.
Or spartamine, however you want to say it. But
you don't even do like a diet Dr. Peppers?
Not Dr. Peppers, but I do a diet Pepsi sometimes in my cabin and get interviewed by HTC.
Yeah, true. Diet Pepsi. Whoa. I like Pepsi Zero more than I like Coke Zero too. I prefer Pepsi Zero over Diet Pepsi. I prefer Coke products over all Pepsi products, with the exception of A&W Zero or Diet. A&W root beer. I think that's a Pepsi product.
I do love a root beer. I'm addicted to energy drinks, if you guys couldn't tell.
Really, DB?
Just by my personality.
You hide it really well, though.
I literally would rather be drinking an energy drink than breathing air. So
Really?
it's not great. Yeah.
What is your energy drink of choice?
It depends, but I would say if I'm at a gas station, and I just want to buy like something that's like my gas station little treat, I get like a nice tall Red
You
Bull
can name drop.
free,
Oh, like the blue kind?
the light blue kind.
Wow.
And then if
That's
I
classic.
have to get a giant pallet shipped to put it in my mini fridge in my office, I usually have Monster Mango Ultra, Monster Rose Ultra, and then I like trying new energy drinks all the time. So I'll acquire a pallet of whatever is new. The new Monster is really good. The new Monster Ultra.
So you do like an experiment, like a fruity experiment with your
do.
energy drinks. That's wow, DP. That's surprising.
Why are you saying I'm rigid and
No.
Are you saying I have a rating system and spreadsheet of all the energy drinks that I've ever drank?
Yin and yang. If DB could see my financial, the way that I maintain my, I mean, it's just funny. It's great. How much anxiety would you have living in my life for one day?
This is what I do.
You'd die.
I go and sign up for a new credit card, right? And I say, thank you. I go get $5,000 of credit at a place like Best Buy, right? I buy $5,000 worth of goods. Okay. I go on Facebook Marketplace. I sell those goods for $3,000 part amount, right? Not great profit, but you got to get rid of it quick, right? Then what I do is on my way home, I chop up the credit card in tiny little pieces and I throw it out the window.
So stupid.
Nice try, motherfuckers.
It's so stupid.
They'll never
catch
me.
I chop it up in tiny little pieces and I throw it out the window. Like maximum, for maximum effect. Yeah.
Good luck piecing that one back together, fucking Doug Carter.
You know how he do. Judge says, I feel like I'm listening to Alex Jones.
Does he like Red Bull?
You've turned the freaking frogs gay. That's like my only Alex Jones clip. He's all worried about the frogs and stuff.
I literally haven't had Jaeger bomb in my life.
Ever?
Never.
Do you know what it tastes like?
Huh? No. I guess it's licorice.
Yeah, like black licorice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not the kind of drink you want to have a bad experience with, because it that memory recall will linger. That is.
This is
I feel like I haven't.
Question. Do you mind if I answer this?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just doing a mumble ramble. Go ahead.
Scales of Injustice asks, do you mean a palate literally? What if you don't like the new kind? My tism is getting the best of me with this chat. Don't understand normal conversations. Lamau, sir or ma'am, you think this is a normal conversation? You are here and interested in this conversation for a reason. We're all train lovers. Do you want me to pull up the air siren playlist that I have on YouTube? So
I'll answer that. No.
Okay, yeah. I leave the pallet by my door. So every time I go out there, I think about the fact that I picked the wrong flavor. And I shame myself. And I force myself to drink it over time when I'm out of energy drinks. Okay, so did they kidnap this man or what? What the fuck happened to him? What did they do to this dude?
All right. So why don't we revisit what October 28th, 2022 was like for you as it relates to Rick Allen? DB, go.
You say October 8th?
October 28th, 2022. Walk us through what it's been like. I'm sorry. We're starting at 11. 20,
I know we got started. We're getting started early.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't fucking know, dude. This isn't really my part of the case. You know what I mean? No one's calling me for a breakdown of this part, but I mean, I think he gets arrested on 26. I think there's other reasons why they didn't show that part of the video.
I'm more interested in just what was DB's experience like when you learned that they made an arrest? Like, what do you remember of that day? Like, personally?
Oh, I pulled over on the side of the road. I was driving. I'm dead serious. I remember. I 100% remember.
I know you are. Yeah.
I was a Reddit shit poster in the subs and argued with people all the time. And I remember hearing about there being an arrest, reading the articles, being like, okay, whatever. I'll probably find out more. I tried to like look up, what was going on the web sleuths and what was going on Reddit. I'd never been part of the Facebook groups. So I was trying to learn more about what was happening. And I want to say after about maybe a day after hearing about the arrest, I heard about the arrest as it happened, but I don't remember the exact timeline of when I heard that the PCA was sealed or that there wasn't any charging information. I was like, that's fucking weird. And then the press conference, I was like tuning in on YouTube live, like to see the press conference go down. And I was like, I'm finally going to get some more fucking information about this dumbass arrest that they did, because it's been ridiculous that they're being so fucking weird about it. Just tell us what the fuck's going on. And as soon as I heard like the first couple minutes, I was like, this is fucked up. Something's wrong. 100%. As soon as people, and then I went on Reddit and I was like, dude, I can't wait to finally go talk to people about this, because I was like, talking to non-fucking autistic people in my life that aren't true crime autists,
Yeah.
and I'm like wanting to talk to them about it, but they don't fucking know what's going on. So, as soon as I was like, dude, I can't wait to talk with everybody how fucking crazy this is. And I went and looked at Reddit, and 90% of people was like, okay, but we're going to protect the investigation. The PCA needs to stay sealed. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was like
Enraged.
a huge atomic bomb that was kind of set off in the community, I feel like, because a lot of people found out really fucking quick, like, who had no fucking clue. Like, were these people just following the Delphi case because they were local and they were posting about it, and they never followed a true crime case and never watched a trial, like never looked up anything like about the criminal process? Did you watch the news? Like, even Indiana local news was saying that it was weird.
Yeah, actually, they've regressed since then. I would say, like, they were on their best bullshit when they weren't getting any info from the police. They were like pissed. They were hounding them back then.
Well, look what happened.
Right.
They pushed back, and they went to war and got this information. And that's how abhorrent that is.
Yeah.
What they tried to do. And then they went to, quote unquote war to get the PCA unsealed.
The media did, you mean?
Huh?
The media did, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it was likely going to get unsealed no matter what the media did. But they definitely wanted it. They were fighting for it. Probably because they wanted to get it first, wanted to get the scoops, wanted to get leads to go find information. But I think since then, law enforcement has been like holding it over their heads.
Like punishing them?
Yeah, like punishing them, but like also feeding them slowly to get them to really cover what they want them to cover.
Yeah, they're using it as like a mechanism to control them. Basically, they're just feeding them little breadcrumbs and scraps, like keeping them like what traffickers do to victims. You keep them like addicted and craving tiny little pieces of information, And yeah, they could go to war again, but the alternative to getting breadcrumbs is that you don't get anything, because look, they will just shut you out. Like, we've seen it. We're seeing it. The
And there's
trial
no
was
recourse.
literally- there's zero recourse. It's insane.
And so the next person could just get the source, and maybe they're not as good of a reporter as you. Maybe they're not, as talented as a writer as you. Maybe they don't have as good as connections. Maybe they can't even put the shit together that they're getting. But people are just super fucking worried about, what their chances are of getting information from some of these people. Also, I don't even like what's going on now when this is supposedly out of transparency, but I mean, it's pretty, the only thing transparent I think right now is what's going on is Holman's out there on a mission.
Yeah.
He's got some talking points he's trying to hit, and he's going through them
quite desperately.
Yeah. Where were you?
Bro.
Deep in your iPad?
No, I was actually packing for Indiana because I had a trip planned to be there for the election. And Mike filed his lawsuit, and we were just kind of going to be there because it was like a pivotal kind of week, and obviously didn't end up going, but I think I don't know if I was sick or if I was just working, because it was like one of the few days I didn't have my phone like attached to me. So I didn't get the update for like an hour or two, and I pull up my phone and I had like a dozen messages from Courtney and friends like freaking the fuck out. They were like, arrest. And I was like, bullshit, immediately, because I assumed it was like Tony Klein or some bullshit. But I mean, I immediately was certain that it was going to be bullshit. I just was not happy. It was like a really depressing day. There was a lot of like, I just remember thinking like, why are they being so weird about this? They don't seem very confident in this, but they weren't. I mean, we didn't even know that he was charged with murder until the press conference, right? The 31st. Like, they didn't even tell us what his charges were officially. So like, I just remember that entire weekend was just chaotic, and I almost feel like they did it on purpose. They wanted to kind of gauge what people were. They wanted to kind of wait and see what happened over the weekend. It was just they're just very calculated and very manipulative and very icky to me. But yeah, that sucked.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I actually don't even think that. I mean, I think the calculation, like, that makes me think that they would be more competent than they are. That would require a level of competency I don't think they could do. That would be inspiring for them.
A level of restraint, even.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can understand like that position, certainly. But I think for me, I think they were scrambling to pick charges. And even though they say they charged him with murder either on the 26th or 27th, he doesn't mean that they were actually entered at that time.
They weren't, yeah.
And they weren't maybe looking at other potential charges and scrambling to get all that evidence and going back through the evidence to see if they could charge him maybe with a different crime.
Yeah.
To have something better to hold him on. And I think that the press conference was really just a means to buy 24 hours, 48 hours of people to leave them the fuck alone, because what they were up against was basically what they felt like was going to be people inquiring and inquiring about what happened and who this person was and was he connected to this person or this person, and them saying, well, we have a press conference scheduled for this time, got them to be able to point to something and say, this is when we're going to let you guys know what's going on, and we're going to do that right here on this date and time.
Yeah. I was. Is that me or you, DB? I have an echo. I think it might be me.
Doing what?
I have a little echo. I think it was me.
Oh.
Judgy says, is the suggestion that he was originally charged with kidnapping only? So it started as just like a suspicion, then it was kind of like a hypothesis, and now I'm like pretty confident that at least most of this is accurate. So they arrest him. We know the 26th. Holman interviews him. It's a non-interrogation. Like at 9 a.m. they meet at the Lafayette Post, however long that lasts. So from basically 9 a.m. on October 26th is the last time he's free, right at home. He goes, he gets interrogated, whatever. That bullshit probably lasts a few hours. He is immediately, we learned from an article you read us today, DB, that Holman personally drove Rick to, he put the cuffs on him and personally drove Rick in his whatever vehicle to the Carroll County Jail. Does that ring that? I think that's what
and he said that Rick and him didn't say anything.
Right.
I wonder why.
Right. Why do you think?
Because I think one of the things they didn't want to show the jury was that Rick said, I want an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Or he said he's done talking to them.
Right.
And I think that...
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. Keep
well,
going.
What?
Oh my God. I'm going to mute. Go.
And I think that basically they don't want that. They didn't really talk about that until the trial. And it's pretty obvious now that they weren't having a conversation, even though Holman was desperate to talk to him about all these. He was like a needy little fucking girl, dude. Sorry to the girls out there. I didn't mean
No, 100%. 100%. Like he fucking was fucking shooting in his pants is the way that I envisioned that entire. He couldn't fucking keep it together. He wasn't getting what he wanted. He wanted his confession and his arrest so bad, and Rick's keeping his cool. And the less Rick is matching it, he threw a fucking ballistic temper tantrum. Crazy.
Yeah, it was only 45 seconds. Dude, have you ever been ballistic before in your life? Well, I don't have to ask you that, but
he doesn't does he think that people weren't there and didn't witness it and then listen to coverage on it? Because that's just not fucking correct. He was unhinged.
Well, dude, 45 seconds is a long fucking time to be losing your mind.
That's also a great point. It's a really long fucking time.
The shit I've probably said the most, off the hip, where I'm like, okay, I was way wrong. I said something for 2 seconds, yelled something, or maybe at the most said 8 seconds of words together. That would be something you would apologize for, you saying you flipped the fuck out. But even the worst fucking most hot-headed people, they blow up and scream for maybe 15 seconds like a psycho.
Yeah.
45 seconds.
You're running out of oxygen.
Especially him. He probably needed a CPAP to just get through that fucking conversation.
I hear him just beat red and just outrageous. Just the conduct that he exhibited. I really do hope. I did a call to action on Twitter the other day.
Perfect.
Where I was like, hey, if there's anybody that has the interrogation videos, fucking leak them. Leak them. No one can do anything to you. Fucking leak them. They were already, this is the thing. They were already shown. They are a public fucking exhibit. She can keep them, but once they're out, they're out. She can't do shit about it. So really the only power that Gull has is she can keep them from getting out by just fucking hiding them and refusing to release them. But if someone has them, fucking leak them. Don't leak crime. I don't want to see crime scene photos. I'm not interested in crime scene photos. Like, I am really over that. It's icky. But anything else, fucking leak it. Why are we protecting anything anymore? That's how I feel.
For real.
Just saying.
That's the good shit to leak.
That's the good shit to leak. That's the shit I want to see. And DOC, I said, if anyone has the DOC footage, not like the real bad shit, but do you know what that would do? DB, if the footage of Rick with the black hood over his head or being dragged, like the repercussions, like the ripple effect of footage like that being released to the masses. Yes, I do. And we've talked about this, and I always forget those really, really fucked up service members in that plate. Yes. I really feel like it would be like that kind of because it's just shit is not acceptable. It doesn't happen. And that's why I feel like they've protected not just the video, but like everything in DOC. Like, it really hinges on, they got a little bit away from themselves, I think, and they did some shit that could really, really have repercussions that are not favorable or pleasant. And people don't understand what they were doing to Rick. Like, his confessions are meaningful to a lot of people because they don't have the context. And even if you hear something, it's a lot different than seeing, and you know what I mean? Like, people still don't get it. And even if they think they get it, they don't get it.
I know what you mean. I totally agree with your sentiment about it being awful. I don't think some people give a single fuck.
No, it would probably delight the people who are, convinced of his guilt. They would feel like, yeah, good. Fucking child.
Yeah, well, dude, he fucking killed those girls.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
And, that's unfortunate. And I don't think there would be that much. Like, I would hope so. But I've seen it this whole time. I've been very pessimistic about what kind of outrage there's going to be about stuff, and
I've given up on outrage.
Kind of true about some of this stuff. Or been kind of right about some of this stuff.
No, yeah, you broke me. You broke me, DB. like a fucking Appaloosa. I'm done. I have hope for.
I've been saying it for. Been the fucking asshole for a year that's been like, no, he's gonna get convicted, and maybe he'll win his appeal after like going back and forth from court 13 years.
Yeah.
Because it just there's no fucking he had no shot.
And it's I realize, like, I really believe from the moment and we have also very different, like, I'm not doing my timeline, by the way. It's already too late. I'll do it another day, but I am going to start it. But the Kathy Schenck arm of this, whatever, octopus, what does Doug say?
Tentacle.
The Kathy Schenck tentacle.
Tenaculus.
Tinnitus. We've not yet actually learned what really happened at all. Because it keeps changing. Again, it's changing. Like, it's a cabinet, and then it's a drawer, and then it's an electronic tip in the Orion system, and then, like, it keeps changing. And the story makes no sense. I know that I'm being probably, like, very, like, simplistic and under, or maybe I'm just, like, under, what's the word?
Underselling?
Yeah, like the capacity of people just to, like, have messy drawers and overlook important shit all the time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey, Michael. So I mean, I understand.
Great. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Out of all the really great, artistically beautiful things that Michael Osbuck has written in his life, I think that's probably one of the funniest things he's ever written.
The crank sweat. The crank shank redemption.
I know all those habeas cases you won, and you know all the appeals and everything, but that's some of your best work right
That's
there,
really
sir.
good. That's really good. That's pretty good. The crankshank redemption. I don't believe that Kathy. So you know my conspiracy theory about it. I really do believe that the Rick Allen tip. Somebody was holding on to it as a just in case. I really believe that. I just do. I think they were so certain that a Klein angle and arrest was going to be the answer from at least when did they first arrest him? That interrogation of Klein was like August 2020. And then not for a year plus later, they put out the bedsheet ISP announcement, Anthony Schatz with big hat. You know what I mean? A year later. So for at least a year from 2020 to 2021. And then the river search is an entire year later. So for over half of this investigation has been wasted on the fucking bullshit Klein angle. So that's embarrassing. But I believe that they thought that was the answer. They thought that that was going to yield they were going to solve it. And I don't know when they realized that they weren't going, that it wasn't going to pan out. But I don't think Rick was the best plan, but I think that somebody planned and planted that tip. There's too many conflicting stories. It's too suspicious when they talk about it. And also just other things that eventually I'll talk about. It's all a bullshit fake story. I don't necessarily think Kathy Shank knows. It could just be one person or two people, probably one person, but that tip was put there for her to find. I guarantee it. I'm certain.
So there's two other big criminal investigations that inform my opinion about this. It's one, the Green River Task Force, and the Long Island Serial Killer Task Force. So if you read Lost Girls, it's about the Long Island serial killer before the arrest, and I think it's Green River Running Red or something like that. It's a book about the Green River investigation. The books highlight beautifully the infighting in law enforcement, and it's not necessarily fighting like Doug Carter was talking about, going to go argue with fucking Tobe Lazenby in the church lobby. It's this person has a theory. This person has a theory in the other task force or the other agency, and they get, say, a new piece of evidence comes out, and it's 5% beneficial to this team, but it's 15% beneficial to this team. But next theory comes out, or next little piece of information comes out, it reduces this person and builds up this other teams. And the infighting is more about the diverging theories. And if your leadership is it's this person, this is the direction we're going, I like this stuff, you bring them something about this person, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? Well, then everybody under them is going to support that. They're going to look at everything through that lens because that's what's going to get them looked at, promotions, less pressure on them, build relationships with their superiors, right? Well, the other teams are all doing the same thing. So they start getting siloed in what they want. And there's these competing theories. Well, I think that happened in the two task forces in the county that were going at it in the Green River case, and the two different police departments in the Suffolk County Attorney's Office, the infighting in Lisk. And I think that's what happened with, to a lesser degree, not necessarily different agencies, but I think different investigators at different times,
yes,
were all focused on one theory. And if you think about Holman's involvement, he had to find a way into the case, right?
Yeah.
His in was there was this other shit they needed to follow up on. And in the beginning of the case, they had the suspect. Their main suspect was the person who owned the fucking property, you know, and that whole group of investigators in the beginning all formed around the idea that that was going to be super lucrative. They were going to go in that direction, right? And
Who
Holman
though?
came. Ron Logan?
None of them would investigate Ron Logan. Nobody local would. I mean, I agree with your theory. I'm getting stuck in the quagmire. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, but they put him in the hole. They kidnapped
Sure.
him. They
Right.
fucked with him. They the FBI did a search warrant or drafted the PCA for the search warrant.
Right. Yeah.
They did more than one search warrant in his house.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on
But
all
there's
that.
there was no other suspects at the time, probably. Well, there's probably other suspects, but like no.
Yeah, he was
other-
certainly the most likely. Yeah.
Right, and they're probably trying to build in that direction. They're just fucking incompetent though, so they
Mhm.
can't figure shit out, and they can't
Right.
get it done. And people are probably pressuring them to either move on or find something or move on. And then you have Holman, who's saying that he was at the crime scene. I don't think you were at the crime scene, bro. You weren't a fucking case agent on the case at the time. Harper was. He likes to kind of suggest that he was there because he says, when I showed up on the scene,
I was at the bottom of the hill.
I was at the bottom of the hill, but doesn't mean you were over there across the line with your name in the fucking log saying that, you know, you're actually helping process and going through stuff. Why would you? Why? They had plenty of investigators there. They did not need somebody else coming in from Lafayette, you know, but he was there, and this other shit that ISP was looking into with Keegan, he wanted to find a little piece that he could section off and become his thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's how he ended up getting part of the lead, I think, on the second part of the investigation when they were going into kind of changing directions and looking at Keegan Kline more seriously.
Why was Holman so he was the Odin guy at the beginning, right? And not necessarily like he believed it, but I think that he leaked it a lot for some reason. Like Odinism was always associated with Jerry Holman, always, like in terms of like leaks and the rumors about the case, like for years and years. So like it's just weird, like for him to come out now and be like, "Oh, I never really thought so." Like Holman, we have fucking messages of people who have been told directly from him that they believe like ABCD. It's just bizarre. I don't understand the why behind like the motivations, and I don't think it really matters because I think they're all different. You know what I mean? Like the secondary gain of like the groups. But so you're saying the fractured kind of that dynamic that we see in a lot of cases that are complex and large kind of prevents. Well, I don't know. Can you tie it back to Kathy Shank for me?
Well, I mean, that's even a good example because then you have like the post Keegan Kline era, and then you have somebody that brings it to Liggett, and then it's Liggett and Mullen, where Mullen wasn't involved in the Ron Logan. At least he says he wasn't. Like he said he wasn't, he wasn't involved as early on. He was the chief of police, but like he wasn't actively investigating. He's playing more of a leadership role, I guess. And then, but he was on Unified Command, right? Even when he's police chief? Yeah, because he's in a lot of those interviews. But he doesn't really say much. He just kind of fucking goons.
He was not. It wasn't until he left his position as the Delphi chief of police that he actually probably became the prosecutor's investigator that I think he really was on the team, though. You know what I mean? Because I think as police chief, he probably was just doing other shit. But
right.
Yeah, like halfway through probably the investigation, he became involved.
Yeah, so I think what happens is Holman goes, "Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I got my own little niche over here. I can start, getting stuff from the main investigation, and now I have an angle. I have my thing. And I can slice little parts of the case off for me, and I can go, I don't know about Ron Logan here. Oh yeah, I don't, but this suspect, I have more information about you that on, you know, I could be more valuable because I have, you know, the background of this. I've been working that angle for months.
Even his motivations are so lame, though. You know what I mean? Like, what drives him?
Ego.
Ego. I think so too.
No question.
I really think it's just ego. I don't even think he's curious. He has the least amount of investigative curiosity I've ever seen out of any of them. Truly. He doesn't care. He's not interested in what really happened. He's just interested in being the guy whose theory was the right theory. Like, he's the one, he takes credit for everything.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, ego can be, it could be the death of, you know, people's likability for sure. But ego isn't always a bad thing if you know how to use it. If you have high expectations for yourself, you hold yourself to a certain standard, even though you're not outwardly criticizing other people's ability to do stuff or always talking about your ability. Like, ego can drive you to do good stuff, to work hard, to, you know, at 9 o'clock at night, go out and do that interview you just got this phone number for. Like, that could be really, really positive for an investigator. The drive to be the best investigator and get the lead, just like with reporters, you know, their ego can drive a lot of good work. But then you look at his work. I mean, he didn't look at the fucking Hoosier Harvest Store video himself. He never listened to the interviews that the other investigators did of the suspects. Well, for one, probably because he wasn't that involved in the beginning. And two, like, watch the fucking video. It's 1 hour long.
No,
You didn't have an hour in 7 years? So the ego against that, you taking those two things into consideration, like, they just seem so, you know, unfamiliar to each other. Like, you have this ego, but you're not willing to let it drive you in any way that is positive for this case.
Yeah, right. Like, I look at somebody like, so Tony Liggett, I hate for a lot of reasons, but we've talked about this before. Like, he's done some decent investigation, right? Like, even the what we were reading last night when Ron had that like woman, they were like looking for that woman in Ron's house, right? It's like a really micro example, but like he like was pretty like dogged in finding her, right? Like, so like if that were like Holman, you know what I'm saying? Like, even just little things like that, like somebody like Liggett who is all ego, but he also has, maybe it's just like a shame factor. Like, he has enough. I also think that shame can be a driving force. You don't want to be rejected or embarrassed or ostracized by people, right? You care what they think about you, and it's not always a bad thing.
Isn't that ego?
Yeah, it is. But I'm saying Holman kind of, to me, he lacks that self-awareness or like that shame piece that like, that would actually like, I feel like that's okay. Like, I want to be in charge and I want to pursue this and like have ownership over it. And that's, you know, ego driven. But like, I also like don't want to look like an idiot. And like, I want my work product to not get me like laughed out of, you know, the fucking sheriff's office. Like, so your quality of, there's also quality to back it up at relatively. Like, he is dumb and lazy, and I don't know why he's that like one individual they talk about that like gets promoted based on almost like his stupidity. Like, they just keep promoting him based on nothing. I can't think of anything that he's ever done that's been impressive or cool. He's never solved a case ever. He's got like 3 unsolved cases, homicide cases. He's just like, what is he doing?
Well, I think that for a supervisor, he in his career has probably over embellished his success to his leadership. He's probably oversold his role.
Yes.
You know, he's probably undersold other people's ability and other people's roles and how big they were to his leadership, all to over embellish, as he would say, himself, to make himself look better.
Yes.
And he has the personality, the ego to do it, and he has the ego to criticize others to their faces, probably, and to where people would think he would make a good supervisor of police officers. Because a sergeant, he was a supervisor.
Like, so this comment based on corruption, not nothing, in my opinion. Well, because there is another side of Holman that I've seen, that we've seen, that is really, like, I don't know what like a better word to use, but is like really dirty. Like self-preservation trumps everything else, and he's scary to me because there's really nothing. Like if his ego, or if he suffers like a narcissistic injury or like an ego injury, like Rick not giving him what he wanted that day, Rick telling him that he was like a fuck you or whatever he said to him, like he wouldn't yield and comply, and Holman's not used to hearing no, and it pissed him off because he wanted to make an arrest that day. For him to say, oh, I wasn't going to arrest him that day, huh? Like, get fucked. No one believes that. But like, he literally arrested Rick almost like out of, it was like an ego arrest. I don't I feel like I'm repeating myself, but like it was, you know?
And I think the one thing that supports it is what people said about Liggett and Mullen. Like, did he bring them in? Well, I think that was ego for him, because on the 13th they won at RA. They didn't get anything. And from what I can understand about those interviews, he was not the lead on those interviews. It was Mullen, and Liggett was there as well. And so he does the search warrant. Now he's in. You know, he's the supervisor for the police officers that are doing the search warrant.
Yeah, he didn't fucking do any of the work.
Oh, but he did. He sat in the car, and he got Rick to come sit in the car with him, and he got Rick talking, and Rick told him it was all over. So you know what happened? He probably went back and told Mullen and Liggett, well, I talked to him, and you know, he seemed real shady, and I started kind of calling him out on XYZ, and he said to me, well, they're breaking my stuff or something. You know, just as an example before this conversation. And it finally gets to him saying, oh, well, it's all over. It doesn't matter. It's all over.
Yeah.
And he could sell that to Doug Carter. You know what I mean? Oh, he said it. He said that. It's all over. He knows we got something good. He knows we got the bullet. And then now it becomes, I did that. You guys didn't want to arrest him on the 13th. Now look what I got. I told you guys the bullet was going to match. It was the same type. You know, it was a 40 cal hollow point. We found it. And then he goes, and on the 26th, he's trying his best. People were, even HTC said, she said other people were saying that he thought he was on the first 48, or what was it? Law and Order, CSI or some shit. Yeah, somebody was making fun of how
I did hear that.
Cartoonish his interviewing skills were.
Yeah.
And I think that the whole thing was a ruse to get him in there because Holman just wanted a fucking shot, you know? And he got his little crony veto.
Yeah, we still need to, we still haven't heard what the fuck he did, you know?
Well, I probably just ignored the fact that Kathy Allen was probably having a medical emergency.
Yes.
Hyperventilating, having an anxiety attack. So
fucking sick, dude.
So I think his motivation was he was going to call up Doug Carter and say those fucking other cops couldn't do it. I did it.
Yeah, he came and
I
saved the
arrested
day.
Yep. And that's an ego play. And he probably really wasn't even that worried about all this other stuff coming together. It was the people around him, like Liggett, who said, oh, Liggett wasn't even thinking about how he failed to get the confession or how he failed to secure the arrest. He was thinking, oh, yeah, that's great. That's going to be great. I was the lead investigator on this case. I'm going to say that. Well, yeah, you were the lead investigator for Carroll County.
Right. Yeah, so why did he redact his name?
Oh, I have a whole different theory about that.
Yeah?
I think they just don't want to sign the date.
Why?
Because I don't think the timeline makes sense on the PCA.
I agree.
I think they thought they were going to go 24 hours, but they thought they were going to be able to get some exigent circumstance for having a signed PCA from Diener. And I think that they, try to backdate it.
I think they really thought he was just going to confess that quickly, like him not cooperating. And they were, so I'm going to try and pull this up. So they started running that story in the media about suspect no longer cooperating with police. And we were like, what does that mean? Like, what, he just like invoked the fifth? Like, what do you mean? He asked for an attorney? Like, what do you mean? And Holman, in one of the interviews that we heard tonight on T's channel, said that he wasn't cooperating because he wouldn't take a polygraph exam. He wouldn't admit that he did it. He probably asked for a lawyer or said that he was done talking. And I don't know what else, like, Holman, his ask or his demand was from Rick, but whatever it was just Rick exercising his basic constitutional right. But they pushed that story out to like 6 different outlets, I found. And they didn't say anything more with other than suspect no longer cooperating with police. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean?
Dude, and then to say that, oh, you're going to make me go get a search warrant? Doug, I ain't making you do anything. You don't have to go get a search warrant. You don't have to fucking put a finger in my mouth and a fucking swab, okay? You don't have to do any fucking thing. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, list tips were reviewed on 2/22. Missing tip found 6 weeks. Suspect identified. You sure? You sure about that one?
What do you think?
I think it was IGG.
List? Oh, yeah, we knew that though, right? Oh, they're trying to say that they got the car first, and then they got the phone, and then they got the IGG, right?
Yeah, they're like, we just did a canvas of all the green 1999 avalanches in the area.
You don't think that the specificity of that one is enough to make that even maybe possible?
Of what? The car? The specificity of the car?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how many fucking Long Island white fucking suburban dads love an avalanche? I would imagine a lot.
TP, look. AJ Barnes.
I hate being the person to do this. And I don't know exactly. Go ahead.
No, I'll read it. 'Cause, you'll see. I hate being the person to do this. I don't know how exactly well known he was, but I'm the son of True Justice. He was subscribed to you on here. He unfortunately passed away on New Year's Day.
What the fuck?
I'm so sorry, AJ Barnes. Thank you for letting us know.
That is so sad.
I'm sorry. We were just talking about losing parents on holidays. It's awful. Well, I'm glad that you're here, and thank you for telling us. You're welcome anytime. Damn. That's really sad. That sucks. That made me really sad. I'm sorry, DP. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I figured you would understand.
AJ Barnes might not know who we are, but if he was a fan, he would enjoy the fact that we said rest in Krebin.
Yeah, you'll know who he is. You would recognize him. His comments. That's really sad. R.I.P. AJ. Thank you, AJ, and R.I.P. True Justice.
True Justice was a good chatter.
I know. You don't think that the specificity of the vehicle could make it a little more plausible? No, right? It's still like an outrageous claim. Right. What? Sorry. I only heard the first part of that. Yeah.
To know about the car.
Mm-hmm.
It's just strange. I don't mean it to say that makes it more or less likely, or that makes that investigation worse or better.
Right.
It's just my observation. I've always wondered, because when that bail doc came out, I didn't follow it like that. But
right. Yeah. You saw it kind of taking a different course. Yeah. Makes sense.
Whoever did this is long gone now, Ron Logan said. This won't happen again. This won't happen again. Not here anyways.
Not here anyway.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about this snow shovel.
What's this? What? Snow shovel?
Yeah. I'd like to just apologize for calling into question your ability to operate a snow shovel.
Forgiven.
Perfect. Okay, you get into the next part. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm actually trying to create a PDF, so it's going to take me a minute. But basically, we're going to look at some linky poos together. What? Yeah, I'm crisping it right now.
Are you putting in crisper?
Yeah, I'm crisping it. Why?
Remember that?
Only the best for... Yes, I remember. That's why I thought that. Okay. Only the best and crispiest for the folks here. So, okay. I don't know what happened first, and I don't know who signed off on what. All I know is that they had no plan for how they were going to arrest Rick and make it stick, because I don't think Holman told anybody he was going to arrest Rick. I just think he did it. We've all talked about that before. I know that's like not a novel like thought, but Rick was probably arrested sometime in the after handcuffed, right? He's handcuffed and transported to the Carroll County Sheriff's Department by Holman on October 26th, afternoon-ish. If he and Kathy got there at 9 and all the bullshit with the questioning and the interrogation and the coming in and out of the room and all of that, probably a few hours of bullshit. Let him smoke once or twice. So he gets taken to the Carroll County Jail by Holman. Says goodbye to Kathy. I don't know. He gave her a hug because Andrea talks about how sad it was to watch, because there was this kind of dread feeling of like, this is the last time he's gonna fucking hug his wife for years. But what occurred between October 26th, when they cuff him and drive him to the Carroll County Jail, because okay, they didn't book him in the jail under his real name. At least not yet. We don't know when he was first booked into the Carroll County Jail. I think his name appeared the 28th. So what, like, I'm really asking like for specifics and like literally, what do we think happened from the time he and Holman got to the Carroll County Sheriff's Department to the time that he allegedly, presumably, was brought before Judge Diener clad in protective gear for his own safety to have his preliminary initial appearance. Does that make sense? That was the most long-winded fucking thing I've ever asked, but I'm just curious what people think occurred, because I have no idea. Like I have my imagination has kind of gone all over the place with this question, because they essentially kidnapped him. Holman kidnapped him from the Lafayette Post, brought him to the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. Who knows who he told? I'm pretty sure Tobe was still out of the office because his father had just died unexpectedly in a car accident on the 25th or 4th or 5th. So Tobe is kind of either not there or like not really all there. Perfect opportunity, I would say, you know, for an arrest, because it feels like it was like, do it and then ask, like, clean it up after. Does that make sense? Am I making sense to people? Did they stuff him in White County under that? Thanks, Hot Pocket. Are y'all following me? Because I know I'm not really doing a linear. Yes, thank you. Oh my God, perfect. Reverse engineer. That's the perfect, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to describe. So they began reverse engineering this from the moment Holman put handcuffs on Rick. They get to the Carroll County Jail. Holman says, we didn't speak the whole time. Is that true? I can see Rick not talking to Holman. They get to the jail. Then what though? He wasn't immediately processed. What, was he just thrown in a cell? No one knew he was there. They were able to keep him being there in that arrest under wraps for 48 full hours almost. That's crazy, given what he was there, like given everything that transpired on the 26th and even since the 13th of October. Like, how were they able to do that? I have no idea. They literally hid that man, I feel like. They didn't book him. They didn't book him under his real name. They didn't tell anyone where he was. They certainly didn't let him call anybody, because we already learned recently that Kathy paid an initial like retainer to an attorney, and Rick didn't even fucking know that. So they were not allowing Rick to call anybody. They weren't allowing him to talk to anybody. They weren't even allowing Kathy to know where he was. He didn't even know he had an attorney, and he had one for at least 24 hours before his initial appearance, because he goes before Judge Diener, per Judge Diener's crazy order, and didn't have counsel. But wait a minute. Yeah, he did. He just didn't fucking know it, because they were hiding him and keeping him from everybody. That's really scary. They didn't let him call anybody. How is that? How are they? So Kathy finds him an attorney, pays him some obscene retainer. The guy, at the very least, we know for a fact, he wrote via like a letter, an appearance letter that he emailed directly to the prosecutor and the Carroll County Sheriff. And I don't know. What, DB?
How do we know that for a fact?
Is that important for you to know right now?
Well, I thought you were saying like there's something we could look at. Like,
so here's my issue. Here's my issue with what I think you're getting at. There's a because I believe that this is new information, newly discovered evidence, right? But I don't want to say too much. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I feel pretty confident, at least, that there was some kind of an appearance letter sent to Nick and Tobe. Does that feel like a fair statement? I don't know, like, what was in it. It just basically was like a basic, I'm representing Rick, don't talk to him, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So that,
I mean, if there was no criminal case to file it under,
right,
in the system, I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do? I mean, if it's the 13th and he decides to get an attorney, there's no fucking criminal case. You can get an attorney that is going to, quote unquote, enter an appearance for you in a non-criminal case matter that may be criminal. You may get criminally charged for something. You're allowed to have representation.
Right.
It's not weird that somebody that, is on retainer without charges, but we know he was charged on the 27th.
So can you explain? I'm not questioning it. I just don't know how we know that. Like, how do we know? So how would we know that? What does that look like? What does that mean to be charged versus whatever.
Well, there was charging information, so there's probably
Because it's dated the
it would be
27th.
more efficient. Well, it's dated that he affirms that the charges were approved by him on the 27th.
Right. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So he's taken in the 26th. They presumably, per McClelland's affirmation, charge him on the 27th. So could you dumb down what like a warrantless arrest is?
Well, there's just for that, there just wouldn't be an arrest warrant. They would have to have and show probable cause via an affidavit, either ex parte or at an initial hearing. And somebody would have to swear to it or provide proof of oath. So, yeah, I mean, if they would have 48 hours. Under exigent circumstances, they could have more. But the type of exigent circumstances in this case would definitely not be applicable. It's like a natural disaster. The judge, stubs his toe and can't go to work.
Right.
Stuff like that is totally unholy, out of control. It's not for like secret investigations and shit.
Right. Because you jumped the gun and did an ego arrest. Like, that's not exigent.
Yeah.
Okay. So then...
An act of God, yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So they when do they book him under his name or his alias name? So they charge him the 27th per Diener.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole alias thing. I mean, I take
right, but like
at his word.
But they book him in general, at least under his name. When does that happen, though?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at I mean, I guess it would be the 26th.
But they didn't. Like, what if they didn't? They were literally just holding him like hostage in a cell or a room and just stalling for time.
They can literally do that.
Right. For what, 48 hours or something?
Hours.
Okay.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not convinced that the PCA... So I have a feeling that in the time between the afternoon of October 26th and whenever they start spilling their beans to the media on the 28th, I have a feeling they probably went before Judge Diener multiple times, much like Tobe did with the safekeeping motion. He probably helped them write it, the PCA, or at least advised them on it. It's just my speculation, or like...
No, there's no doubt.
And that's
our tape part. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. But there is also a rule. I know Michael's not in here anymore, but there's something in the Indiana criminal rules that like even Judge Diener ruling on the safekeeping motion, like he was already conflicted out of that. He legally shouldn't have done that because he had a hand in authoring it. Like there's ex parte, but then there's also like ruling on your own motion. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like... No, it's like the judge writing a motion for the state and then granting.
Oh yeah, that's called lunacy.
Right. Right. So I believe that that's kind of probably, at least in part, what happened.
Yeah, so the statute that I was talking about is 3533.72, section A2. At or before initial hearing of a person arrested without a warrant for a crime, the facts upon which the arrest was made shall be submitted to the judicial officer ex parte in a probable cause affidavit. In lieu of an affidavit or in addition to it, the facts may be submitted orally under oath to the judicial officer. If the facts upon which arrests was made are submitted orally, the proceedings shall be recorded by a court reporter, and upon request of any party in the case or upon order of the court, the record of proceedings shall be transcribed. B, if the judicial officer determines that there is no probable cause to believe that any crime was committed and that the arrested person committed it, the judicial officer shall order that the arrested person be held to answer in the proper court. If the facts submitted do not establish probable cause, or if the prosecuting attorneys informs the judicial officer on the record that no charge will be filed against the arrested person, the judicial officer shall order that the arrested person be released immediately. Yeah. So they could have literally went in there and just testified to there being probable cause.
And that wouldn't have been like outlined or summarized or referenced. Well, just even that they swore and affirmed or whatever under oath, like that wouldn't show up anywhere in the record necessarily. They wouldn't have to like outline that or like.
I mean, if we're talking about what they had to do, like based off the reading of the statute, it's like kind of pointless because we know that they use hindsight to explain stuff in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Osbrook is Mac. He said Rick was in custody when Holman arrested him. Well, when did he arrest him? When he read him Miranda? When he got when he was screaming and flipping the fuck out? Or was it when?
Sorry, DB.
Or was it when he told him he couldn't leave? Or was it when he allowed him to talk to his wife?
That was definitely a custodial interview because he wasn't letting Rick talk to his wife. Like, it's idiotic for him. And he's so dumb that he doesn't realize that he's describing a custodial interview while also saying he's not in custody. Like,
it was an accidental interrogation.
Yeah.
Well,
he literally said accident. Did I text you? He literally said accidental interrogation. I think my brain almost oozed out of my ears.
That's not going to look good, dude.
An accidental interrogation? Did Rick know that it was an accident? Did he know he was being interrogated? I don't feel like he thought he could leave. When Rick took his shit out of his pockets and Holman's like, "Oh, I knew that was odd," because it was like he knew that I was going to arrest him.
You know what I want to know?
What?
Osbrook, was the car there or not? Where was the car? Was he really going to give him back his car? Can we just know that? Why don't we know that?
Oh, the ruse.
If it was the car wasn't there, or if they didn't even have the paperwork ready to give it back to him, well, then we're fucking done with the whole fucking thing. Then we know that it wasn't an accidental interrogation. It was a fucking ruse.
Yeah, that should be.
That's something that we should know.
I was about to say that would be like relatively easy to prove, but like nothing has ever been relatively easy to prove because there's no record of anything ever. So. They do backdate shit a lot.
True. You're right. I mean, it's all made up anyway, so what's the fucking point?
He said he read Miranda, but it didn't record, and then he admitted that he didn't read Miranda. Yeah, that's true too.
Right, and then he admitted that they edited the video.
Yeah, he said the only thing that was taken out of the video because it was prejudicial was that he refused a polygraph. But then what was the other thing that he said? Rick said, "Just arrest me like 100 times."
Refuse a polygraph, sir. He didn't submit to a polygraph examination. Like, you refuse something that you're supposed to do.
Yeah, which means you've not stopped cooperating by asking for an attorney or like not incriminating yourself. These are very basic. These are the most fucking basic principles. And this man truly doesn't get them. So
right, Miranda is now part of the Constitution. Well, it wasn't, but what's funny about like Miranda, it's like the cops just don't do it. Like you fucking that up. Like in the Chad Dorman case, it's like, I had the card and like I I read like a little bit of it, but then I stopped and then forgot to read the rest of it. It's like, dude, you really think that is like a game? Like, they think that, oh my God, if I say it out loud, they're going to know. They're going to there's no way that they're going to not ask for an attorney.
Yeah, I have to
You're playing the
it's
game.
like they don't even enunciate when they're reading it to them. You know what I mean? They're like, They don't want to spook them. It's like, I was thinking about that. I was watching some interrogation earlier, and I was like, just the fact that like we have this fucking ridiculous ritual in our justice system that involves the police trying to solve a crime, right, for the safety and protection and betterment of the community, but it involves they have to like, it's just gamesmanship. Like, you're not trying to protect their rights. You're trying to like mumble through a waiver to basically get this person to act against their best interest.
Yeah.
Like, that's so goofy and weird. It's weird. And then if they do the right thing, which is not fucking talk to you and ask for a lawyer and not and invoke their constitutional rights, then they're guilty and you're gonna arrest them. Like, I don't know, man. And then Doug Carter cries about how everyone hates them. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is a really good point by Judgy. She says, oh my God, listen to that cop. He was like, I'm not a robot. Sir, that's the one time you need to be a robot. That's the robot time. You
dress like a robot. Your job basically demands that you, at least in part, are you have to be robotic about shit. It's not even that hard. Okay, they asked for a lawyer. If you have evidence, you shouldn't, like, I just feel like by the time you bring somebody in to talk to you, like for a non-custodial interview, you should have enough that them asking for a lawyer isn't going to make or break the course of your investigation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't get to like you don't get to like play cat and mouse with them and get them to give you some 99% bullshit information and make you feel like you should just have a case, though. I feel like they should be able to solve a case without any kind of participation or self-incrimination of the suspect. That's how I feel. That's why I don't even believe in confessions. I think that even the best confessions are bullshit and shouldn't be admissible as evidence. It's insane.
It's like, dude, Holman's no fucking Spencer Reed. You know what I mean? He's not going to figure this shit out. Like,
who's Spencer Reed? Of the Reed Technique?
No, Criminal Minds.
Oh, I don't watch that show. Is he the nerd?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
okay. Oh God.
It takes literally 1 minute your day, but think about the cop. And Bree's right too. You hear it all the time in body cams. Like, police officers will be like, "Hey, I'm gonna read you this. You know, I have to read you." They'll pull out the piece of paper. Sometimes they got a card. Sometimes they'll just do it off memory, and you can tell they've done it 1,000 times. Those cops aren't even gonna try to game it. But what about the cop that's like playing fucking games about Miranda? Like, you're that delusional in your head that you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna set it all up.
And they're like, and to believe that you can get away with it, like, like just say that I'll just say that the video had an error and it didn't record it. Huh? Or you could just read it. Or you could just fucking, I know. But like, or you could just fucking read him the 30-second waiver. Like,
yeah, Holman's like, oh no, I think the interview for Miranda got was that Miranda? Who was Miranda again? Listen, guys, who's a Criminal Minds fan in here? Okay, I'm like a cross between Spencer Reed and Derek Morgan.
Spencer Reed's the nerdy black guy, white guy, and then Derek Morgan is like the cool black guy.
Yeah.
Or no? Okay, yeah. So you're like both protagonists in the best way, is what you're saying? You're like a combination of all
Well,
the
no,
best.
actually, I mean, to be honest, I probably have the scientific literacy of Derek Morgan and the brawn of Spencer Reed. So
The
I'm like,
composition of Spencer with your ankles. I'm just kidding. DB has very, very solid ankles. Can I do a demonstration?
yes, please. I gotta go anyways.
Okay, bye. Thanks, DB.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Oh, really quick. Hey, what kind of dish soap do you use?
For my dishes?
Do you do dishes?
Yeah.
What kind of dish soap?
No. I've never owned a dish. I only use
You
paper
seem more like a
products
paper plate.
because that is worse than the shovel comment somehow, and I don't know why. But no, I've washed a dish. I do a dish wash. I use I think I just use Dawn, probably sensitive skin Dawn for all of my sink dishwashing. And then for the dishwasher, I think I have I use the little pods. I don't know what I got right now. Whatever I got at Costco. Pods. Why? What's a popular dish pod?
Well, I gotta put an order in for supplies. Then I was thinking I was gonna try different dish soap, and I know there's a lot of really, really smart mommies in the chat, and I didn't want to ask chat because I felt like that'd be sexist.
So you asked
ladies,
me.
what's your favorite kind of dish? I would never say that. You know what I mean?
Right. Why couldn't you just say, "Hey, chat"?
Well,
because it's predominantly.
I know the statistics. I know the demo. It's mid.
You can't go wrong.
Mid 30 non-binary, highly educated white women.
Yeah, slightly agoraphobic.
Slightly agoraphobic, ADHD, and 50% autistic.
Yeah, more often than not, quite dehydrated, but working on it. I feel like that is a good summary. DB, try the Dawn Power Wash spray. Yeah, I like the spray, Miku, excellent. And I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know about the spray. It feels like it's for lazy girl, like me. And I was like, oh, does it really work? No, it's awesome. And it lasts longer, I feel like, than the dish soap.
Okay, sorry to derail, but Miku, right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean just mommies.
You didn't derail. It's 12:30.
I do. I did want OCD, ADHD, non-binary. People oddly specific about cleaning materials, and I figured you'd be one too. So,
yeah, I was gonna try and stall a little bit more, but that's okay. I'll let you go.
Who are you trying to stall?
Just because I don't know, just because I like you, just because we're having a nice conversation, it's fun hanging out. But it's okay. It's late. I was just gonna say, you should try and get soap with natural, natural stuff, good for your skin stuff, all natural.
Oh,
do an organic, do a sensitive skin. Yeah. You're getting older. You got to take care of your hands, your fat fingies.
Okay, great.
What do you all know about Shank being a deputy sheriff? I know that she deputized herself, Michael.
She was probably a police explorer. I mean, what was she, an honor sheriff? Because they just give that away. They could literally.
She literally refers to herself though as law enforcement, as an investigator. She is a child services, a CPS welfare investigator, but that's not a sworn officer. It's not the same thing.
Well, she can get sworn as a deputy, just as a reserve role. They could have sworn her. They could have given her a merit sheriff deputy.
Wouldn't that be publicly accessible somewhere?
I mean, you would think.
Right, it's Carroll County. Her family referred to her.
Is that really my mom?
Yeah.
Mom, did you, the waterbed's leaking at Ken?
You keep your phone on Do Not Disturb, and it causes a lot of problems because then mom can't get a hold of you. Oh, there he goes. Would that matter? Deputy sheriff, the same as sheriff deputy? It's a great question, Ariel. Michael, I don't know, but we will find out. we've given the cranks 140, all 140 of us that are here right now. We now have a mission. Find out, what is Shanks? What's her relationship with being a sworn or deputized or merit off? Like, what is she? I don't know. I titled this live very dramatically, "The State's Organized Kidnapping of Richard Allen," and then I didn't get to any of it. So I will change the live afterwards so I don't do a false advertisement. But I do also just want to show y'all one thing, because we're here and I care about this. And so do you. And we have time. Because I've had COVID and I literally slept for 9 days. So let's do it. Yeah, Michael on Twitter. I think I have that one saved. I'll have to pull it up and see exactly what she's saying. So the earliest mention that I could find of Rick's arrest came, let's see. So these I grabbed from Twitter. 10:28, 12 p.m. Police to announce arrest. They say they will announce the arrest of Richard Allen. So they're already sharing his name on 10:28 at noon. So as of noon on 10:28, Friday, October 28th, as of noon, the press conference on Monday is scheduled. ISP sources have already officially or unofficially, but have already leaked or shared his name with the media, at least with 21 and WTHR, I think. Okay. So I would imagine that Rick he had his initial appearance because it was at 10 a.m. per Diener. Wow. Okay, so at 10 a.m. on the 28th, he has his initial appearance per Diener. We still don't have the transcript. We still don't know what really actually transpired. We still don't even know if that hearing ever happened. Until I see it or a transcript of it, I will no longer be accepting just the word of Diener. Or anyone. I'm accepting word no longer. So that's interesting. I don't know what the meaning of any of this is because I still have a very, very poor grasp on the difference between like detaining versus arresting versus charging versus having a warrant for an arrest versus like, I don't really know the difference between any of that. So I don't really know if any of this is significant. I just know that Holman slapped handcuffs on Rick on the 26th in the afternoon, drove him to the Carroll County Sheriff's Department in his vehicle, and then hid him so that they could reverse engineer and fix and stall. And they didn't let him call anybody because if Kathy hired somebody on the 27th and Rick still didn't know that on the 28th, that's a problem. The ISP will give a news conference announcing an arrest in the murders next week. Police sources confirmed to WTHR a man named Richard Allen is in custody. They would not release any additional details, saying more info would be available Monday. And then 12:38, breaking. Police tell 13 News an arrest was made. Police to announce arrest in Delphi murders. They would give an update on Monday. They didn't indicate what the update would be. So this kind of seems to me like there's one entity communicating with the media in a more reserved, conservative, cautious way, and then there's another who's just like, fucking Richard Allen's his name. You know what I mean? I have a guess as to who I think the leaky one is, but Angela Ganote. And I forgot about this as I was going back through these tweets. Angela Ganote really did a journalism back in these days. And she's done, I mean, she does a journalism from time to time. Sometimes she annoys me, but I feel like she does a journalism because she was like one of the only people that was really raising the alarm about like, where are they holding this man? What is he charged with? What are they? Any body cams at the execution of the Richard Allen search warrant? Good question, DB. I know that Carroll County didn't, I don't think that Carroll County even had like, so Carroll County didn't have mandatory or like agency body cams. Like it was an individual opt-in or out for deputy. So I have no idea. And ISP didn't have to do it until actually, I don't know. I don't know, Michael. I'm not sure. But we know that per Barbara, what was it? Barbara reported that like they were at his house for like 12 hours, but they were searching for hours before like it came back with a search warrant. I don't know how she would know that, but she's reported on that multiple times. DB says no body cams. That sounds right. A neighbor took photos and video. Holman said none in his car. They didn't have body cams or cruiser cams, right? Figures. Didn't like it show up at the with the search warrant at Rick's home hours into it? Yes, Bezo Jones, exactly. He did. I'm starting to do a stuffy again, y'all, so I'm sorry if it's annoying. Breaking, we feel confident now confirming through multiple sources an arrest was made in connection to the 2017 murders of Abby and Libby. Richard Allen booked in the Carroll County Jail at noon. So look, this is the 28th, okay? This is the 28th of October at 12:53. Richard Allen was booked into the Carroll County Jail at noon on the 28th. So where was he? So they didn't book him until the 28th at noon, according to, or at least that's what they're telling the media. They're telling the media that Richard Allen was booked into the Carroll County Jail at noon on the 28th and then moved to a state facility for his safety. Tobe was telling people this, and this is now like the third reporter, like legacy media reporter, who's not like a rando, who is not reporting that they will be putting him into state custody for his safety, but is definitively saying like he has been transferred to state facility for his safety. I still don't think it happened, but like, why are they telling? Well, it was like a sure thing. It just, to me, highlights the total lack of due process that was afforded to Rick when it comes to safekeeping. They weren't even going to consider that he would be kept anywhere but DOC. Like, this was a plan from the get-go. He never was going to have a say in it. They were never going to let an attorney interfere with their plan. And in order, the way that they achieved that is they held him somehow and kept him from making phone calls or communicating with the outside world. It's like they paused the clock for 48 hours. I don't get it. I don't get how they were allowed to do that. They did a kidnap, 100%. Booked at noon on the 28th. Okay, but Holman drove him there at noon on the 26th. So what the fuck were they doing with the poor guy for 48 hours? I don't get it. I literally think they just locked him in a hole and stalled for time and fucking scurried around trying to reverse engineer. No way they let him call anybody. No fucking way. He didn't even know he had an attorney. God. Michael, if I'm saying anything that you know is objectively false or you don't agree with, let me know. But like, can we just like arrest and hide people in the United States of America still? Is that really something that we can do? Photo? And Angela says no official photo. And then PNW Mama on 10/28 says, I just checked their roster. It doesn't seem to have him yet. So they're told he's booked into the Carroll County Jail at noon, but nothing is showing for him on the roster for the jail. Another individual at the time was reporting that they still hadn't gotten a warrant for him on the 28th at like 6 p.m., whatever that means. Again, I don't know what a warrant, what the significance is of a warrant here, but nah, I don't know. Michael, I don't know if you know or if you can even, I don't know. I've wondered that. I don't think that maybe he just didn't want to touch it. I don't know. They were writing up the PCA for those 2 days. Yes. Is that allowed? Can they just lock him away, not let him call anybody, stop the clock? An arrest requires an arrest warrant signed by a judge based on valid probable cause. It's not allowed. It's not allowed, right? Yeah. Why did it take 2 days? They had to basically fabricate and finagle and concoct a timeline of witnesses and to make muddy, bloody work. That's the case law you sent me. Okay, yeah. That's bad. Is that how long it took for Judge Benjamin Diener to crawl out from under the maelstrom? You absolutely cannot hold someone without an arrest warrant based on probable cause. But they did. It sure seems like Holman cuffed him, drove him, locked him up, and then spent 48 hours just piecing together the most fabricated, subjective, impossible, like unrealistic PCA ever. And we've always heard there was more than one PCA, whatever that means. So yeah, they probably had to go before Diener multiple times. Like it was like a group project trying to come up with something. And they weren't proud of it, by the way. It's not like they came up with the PCA and they were proud of it. They would that motherfucker would be sealed indefinitely if they could have. They worked really hard trying to keep that thing sealed. They knew it was bullshit and they knew it was bad. Yeah, they're trying to just square peg, round hole. This is 1:03 on the 28th of, so we're still on 10/28/22, 1:03 p.m. Angela says, there is no booking photo of Richard Allen. There is a news conference set for Monday morning. Multiple sources tell us that he was taken into custody in connection to the deaths of Abby and Libby. So this is what was showing for him. Richard Allen, intake date, nothing there. Release date, nothing there. Today, 12 a.m., gender, male, eye color, nothing. Hair color, nothing. Age, 50. Height, nothing. Weight, nothing. So literally just his name. So this is how they booked him. Nice. This is him being booked into the Carroll County Jail. They just put his name with nothing else. I agree, woman. I don't think they had any way of really, truly. I do think there's a difference between having the facts and really having the full story and context, and they didn't need to hold him. It's not like he was going to run, right? But they needed to keep him from having an attorney. Is my whole beef. They knew that once he was protected by due process and counsel, the evidence collection or the evidence manufacturing phase would end, and they needed to extend that phase as long as possible because they didn't have any evidence against him. Hence, throw him in DOC, isolate him from everyone, and if we watch this man long enough, we'll end up with something. Yeah. And like DB was saying before, it's fucked. And yet it worked, and it keeps working. Yes, DB, 100%. I just think it was something they held on to for the appeal because it's pretty good. Oh, the attorneys, you mean? Yep, I agree. Well, and I also think that they were maybe, I mean, the fact is, and I'm only being a know-it-all about this because this is the only thing that I know about a lot in this case. Rosie has been trying to blow the whistle on some of these issues and has been trying to collect accurate information about like the chain of events since December 2022. And I believe it probably took a minute for the Brad and Andy to really see the full picture of what they were dealing with. They probably didn't want to step on toes or piss anybody off unnecessarily. They didn't realize they were dealing with unreasonable people from the get-go. But like Rosie was filing shit, asking some of these questions as early as December. He wasn't doing it like, he wasn't making a spectacle of it. Really, the first time that they made any kind of a spectacle was in April when they filed the emergency safekeeping motion for safekeeping modification. But they did that because they were making no headway and no progress, and the state was icing them out and shutting them out and trying to kill Rick. Like they knew it by then. So maybe it wasn't the smartest move in terms of maintaining positive relationships with like the judge and the state. But I truly believe that Rick would be dead if Andy and Brad did not blow the whistle on what they were doing to him in April of 2023. I really believe that. I do believe that Rick could have and probably would have died if they didn't tell people what was happening to him. Sometimes just having eyes on a situation is protection. It just is. So was it dramatic, or did it cause a lot of friction, and did it rupture some rapport, and did it set them up for an uphill battle forever and ever moving forward? Sure. But I think it kept their client alive. So I don't think that was the wrong decision, because Rosie was also planning for the long haul at the time because he filed the tort notice literally the same week. So I do believe that it's like fair to, this was not a perfect defense for a lot of reasons. And there were things that were probably missed and that certainly could have been done differently or better. But when it comes to them prioritizing Rick and critical issues, real critical issues, like he's gonna die, I don't know, I can't really fault them for the way they did it. Yeah. Miku says, I personally would rather be hated fighting the good fight rather than being loved and a horrible person. Yeah, for sure. I feel the same way about the Franks memo too. I maybe would have limited it or kept it, but I don't know. I think all that information needed to come out. Certainly the shit about the guards, because they were look, Rosie blew the whistle in April. The guards were told to no, they're still wearing the patches. They wore the patches from March to September. So Rosie files this insane accusatory motion to get him out of DOC in April, is demanding due process hearings, is requesting for them to move him, is saying he's going to basically die. The state they weren't going to stop though, because they literally had their fucking corrections officers were still fucking with him, tasing him in May and fucking with him in June and abusing him all throughout those months and months and months that Brad and Andy were actively trying to get him out. And you know what? I don't know when Brad and Andy first obtained physical possession of some of the videos of what was really going on and what they were really doing to their client behind closed doors. But if I saw what I know that they saw, I might file some crazy shit too. We haven't been able to bear witness to any of this. Hearing about it is different. Well, I know that they filed a motion back in March, Miku, where that's where they like for the first time talk about Rick and his bizarre behavior, like him banging his head and consuming feces and flooding his cell. Like I know that they had it at least March. But I have a feeling like something like they probably just, I don't know, they probably just had the same realization that all of us have been dealing with and having for the past 3 years, which is like these motherfuckers don't play fair. They don't play fair. They're not afraid of anything. They're not accountable to anyone. They don't respond to reasonable requests. They don't concede to anything. They're not going to be honest. So I guess maybe like desperate times, you have to do like radical shit. Zealous advocacy. I'm not trying to like go on like a soapbox and defend them because I've been frustrated with a lot of things, you know, but I'm also not an attorney and I wouldn't want to be the one having to make a lot of these decisions. I don't know anything about like the evidence and the witnesses, like in terms of like putting on a case at trial, that's not my forte. That's like Courtney and like all the detail-oriented, brilliant people in here. Like my jam is the due process shit and the DOC stuff like that. Without, if the state wasn't able to cheat, and by cheating, they were able to get Rick in DOC unrepresented, and once he was in there, it was over. You can't. And that I think is kind of the problem. Like they really, they were showing up to like a gunfight with a pool noodle, you know, like they were following the rules. And like, if you think you're going to emerge from the Delphi case in any capacity, Hyphine, and like maintain a positive reputation universally, like you like we're so far past that. This is so true. It's hard to be effective with a judge tying both your hands behind your back and gagging your mouth. I really feel like, I don't know at what point they gave up filing like they weren't filing motions for the judge anymore. They were literally just doing it for preservation and honestly too, just for transparency. There's protection. This mugshot. There is safety that comes with transparency. That's why we have public access laws and sunshine laws and transparency. That's why we have open courts in the United States, because it protects us. Indiana's regressing, y'all. Get out while you still can. Run. I'm a veteran with PTSD. Good thing I can't afford to rent a Cybertruck. Don't. Anyway. I'm gonna die here. Okay. A white supremacist tattoo on your face and on your hands. What's wrong with it? What is wrong with IDOC? And a psychologist sits. Well, I don't know. I mean, at least it sounds like she's not there anymore. So this is something else. This was like a comment on Angela's post. We're still on the 28th. Jail data reviewed by Law and Crime indicates Richard Allen, 50, listed in custody at the Carroll County Jail in Indiana as of early Friday afternoon. He's also said in the jail data to have used the alias. Okay. Later on Friday, other jail records suggest that he may have been transported to the custody of the White County Sheriff Department in Monticello, Indiana. A person who answered the phone there was confirmed that he was indeed booked at that facility. However, all other questions concerning the case were referred to the sheriff. He didn't respond. So Rick has his initial appearance in Carroll County the 28th at 10 a.m. By 1 p.m., he's already booked into the White County Jail. I guess that sounds about right time-wise. It's not like it's really far, right? I've never heard anyone do a press conference in law enforcement whining about the public talking shit. It's funny and pathetic. 100%. I am not corrupt. Use their full names when talking about their corruption. 100%. So 1028, just more of the same. Some outlets are naming him, some aren't. An arrest has been made. WRTV wasn't naming him. Fox 59 was. Oh, okay. I know why I linked this. So this is that article that we don't understand. October 30th. So it's first posted on the 28th at 11 a.m. So this, okay. Fox 59 was who Tobe was speaking to directly. So Tobe, Fox 59, Russ McQuaid has a direct line to Tobe because Tobe told him directly about safekeeping on the 28th. I believe this was the first outlet to break the arrest news. So October 28th at 11 a.m. And I'm not going to read that. So the update comes after. So it just says, multiple sources indicate a man named Richard Allen was booked into Carroll County Jail Friday in connection with the Delphi murder investigation. Allen, 50, has been moved to a state facility for his safety. I don't like that we keep seeing this. I know that it's not likely what happened, but like something was going on. Why are they telling people that he's no longer in the county jail? They're telling him that he's somewhere where he's not. They don't want him to be found, in my opinion. Why are they trying to hide him so bad? It's not about safety. Like, we know that. It's not about safety. There was no safety risk. You're absolutely right, Housebroken, and I hate that for you. I hate that for you and all the rest of our Indiana friends. It makes me so nervous. Do you think Doug Carter's following what's being said about on here about him? 100%. That's why I say hi to him in most of my streams. We say, hi, Doug Carter. Hi, Nick McClelland. Hi, Jerome. Yeah, they needed to keep him from his attorney. Well, so, bye, Keith. Andrew, okay, nice. I'll take it. That's the only thing, oops, that could be hiding from the lawyer. Yeah, hiding from any lawyer. Because he asked for one. Or at least he implied it, that he wanted one. He was like, I'm done talking. They're like, okay, well, we got to keep you. We got to just keep you. Oh, my God. It's really scary. The teens, okay. So this is just nothing new. But then the article is updated October 30th, 2022 at 7:51 p.m. What happened on October 30th, 2022 at 7:51 p.m.? Did he start asking for a lawyer? Is that when he wrote his letter? Because in his letter, he says, I had no idea how expensive a lawyer was going to be. So was he asking for a lawyer? Is that what they mean by not cooperating? He started trying to lawyer up, and so they had to fast track his fucking disappearing him into DOC because, oh my God, he's not cooperating, aka he's wising up and we're not gonna be able to fuck with him soon anymore. Am I making sense? Yes, that is what that means. We want answers. Carter says that it's legal to hate him, but it's frowned upon. $10.28. We've booked him. Here he is in connection. And then the night before their big day, the night before their big presser, Rick stops cooperating. Well, we know from what Holman kind of described and alluded to tonight, he sees cooperation as allowing police to violate your rights. So if Rick stops cooperating, he is asserting his constitutional rights and rights to due process. So cool. And they felt it necessary and important to share those two sentences with the media. No longer cooperating. Did Rick even know he had a lawyer? No, DB. My understanding is that he didn't. Or at least that's kind of what it seems like because Diener says Rick said he would hire his own counsel at the initial hearing. He can only call law. Yeah. I don't think he really knew, DB. Yeah, they don't let him talk to her anymore because they don't want her to find him one. What other reason is there to not let him, like, never heard of this. I've never heard of this. So I have a family member who it was like it doesn't matter. He got the shit beat out of him by NYPD undercover detectives like a decade ago. Like the shit beat out of him. They broke like 8 of his ribs. It was bad. And then they like basically disappeared him in the some fucking precincts in the Bronx. Anyway, all that to say, they're famous. They're for violating the rights of citizens and excessive use of force. He was allowed to call whoever he wanted. Like, this is not a thing that you're allowed. It's not like you get one phone call. I went through the Carroll County Jail the Sheriff's Department manual policies and procedures earlier today from 2021. There's a section in there about phone calls. You are allowed to call, and not just call, but like make connection with whomever you need. You can't keep somebody from using a fucking phone. That's kidnapping. They kidnapped Rick Allen and held him for days. They knew that he was hiring a lawyer for a double capital case, and they had nothing. That was the problem. They jumped the gun, and they didn't have a plan in place. They didn't have the upper hand, i.e., they didn't have a plan for violating his rights, so they had to do it on the fly, which means they had to kidnap him and hide him so that they could have the upper hand, maintain the upper hand. This is really bad. Where did you find the policy and procedure? I can't tell you where I got it, but I can share it with you. I will tweet it out. Actually, I don't know if I should tweet it. I'll share it in a second. They held my man hostage. Yeah, they did. He didn't know that Kathy hired a lawyer. It means they didn't let him have the phone. Absolutely not. As soon as they caught wind, probably that Kathy and him, that they were gonna lawyer up, I'm like, of course they started spiraling, and who knows what they were doing to him. We know that they weren't even letting Ron Logan eat edible food. Like, who knows what they were doing to him. They really are like the mafia there, but like worse in every way, and like dumb, way dumber. I'm glad that we finally started talking about kidnapping 3 hours into the Sorry, y'all. That's why people hate. I'll see like someone will share a link to like one of our lives, and the person who receives it will, without fail, be like, "Yeah, I can't watch a 6-hour live. Can you keep notes?" Like, who could? Who could? Doug Carter spoke about my friend at the press conference. They confiscated they took his denties. He's a perfidious demon. I don't know what that word means, but I like it, Indy. I mean, I can I can guess what it means. Mandy says the new direction presser. I think Jerry and Doug wanted to go with young bridge guy as DP. I think Tobe was pissed and didn't want them to go that direction. It makes sense. Hot red faced Tobe was that entire presser. I definitely do think that there was a serious divide. Hi, Heather Brown. Welcome. These little cities do shit work. They're not used to citizens tracking and bringing attention. They get pissed over it. Yeah, they do. And they retaliate. It's bad. Search warrant. I just took a little sleep and I'm back. Hi, Ratstar. I'm jealous. I need to do that very soon. One reminder, Judge Gold made up the eye roll comment for the record just to fuck up the record more because there's no video for appeals. Yep. A lot of things have been making sense since the they took, oh no, Ron's, not Rick's dentures, Ron Logan. They did they take his dentures or did they just not give him food that he could eat with dentures? I don't know. Either way, y'all know how I feel about Ron Logan. I think he's a monster and probably a murderer, but we don't torture people in the United States. It's what separates us from shitholes. So we don't do it. We're not supposed to do it. Don't do it. Especially if somebody's guilty of something like murder. Why would you risk fucking that up? Like fucking up. Ugh. It's embarrassing and it's so morally wrong. It's frustrating having to see it and I can't do anything about it. I'm disappointed even more than I was to be from here. I'm sorry, housebroken. Well, we admire you living there and sustaining there. It's scary there. Rick did not have glasses for over a year. Yeah, dude. Remember when he got out of the car finally when they vacated safekeeping after 18, 19 goddamn motherfucking months? He spends like a couple weeks or like 2 or 3 weeks between the summer hearings and that other hearing that they had in the Cass County jail. Totally different. He's transported in a comfy, like an SUV, cushy seats. He's wearing Crocs. He's got fucking glasses on the top of his head and he's holding papers in his hands. It's just like, Becky, oops, I missed it. Oh, it's gone. Angie, my love. Hi, Heather Brown. All these people who were commenting about him looking at people were so rude. He literally was in isolation and blind. Yeah. He was probably so happy to not be in that fucking place anymore. Becky's reaction when they arrested Rick and Mike saying Doug owes him something. That entire, all of that day was like, there was nothing cathartic or the only person that actually seemed like happy and grateful was like Tobe, because I think he really did believe, like he just believes whatever they tell him. It's not, I'm not giving him an out, because he did drive Ron to that jail where they fucked with him. Like he's complicit and involved, and he's literally the head of the snake, at least for some of the time. Like he's the sheriff. But I don't think that, like, I really think that he, like, they just kind of keep him out of the loop. We are still on 1028. Is this like okay? Is this like interesting and helpful going through these tweets? I just, to me, I wanted to see like who's reporting what first, who seems to have the most access, or like who is law enforcement or investigators like telling them, leaking the most to? How is the reporting differing? Is there anything consistent about the reporting? I mean, the consistent thing that I keep seeing is that they want people to think that Rick was booked on the 28th. That's kind of what I'm seeing so far. Barbara says, ISP confirms a press conference announcing an update in the Delphi murders investigation for Monday in Delphi. ISP Carroll County Prosecutor and the U.S. Marshals will be participating. No decision yet on whether questions will be allowed. And that was at 1:30 on the 28th. Larry Foreman, the DUI guy, says breaking arrest was made in Indiana 2 hours ago. So the police investigators, law enforcement, their official narrative or their official reporting to media and public is Rick was arrested at noon on the 28th. That is what they are telling people. 12 p.m. on 10/28, Richard Allen was arrested and booked into the Carroll County Jail. Like, that seems like pretty consistent across the board for that day. If someone sees something else or finds something else, let me know. Joanna Wren 2. Thank you, Joanna. I love your picture. Hold on, I have to make this bigger. Look at that. Oh my God, he's so cute. Thank you, Joanna. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you. Joanna says it's super helpful. Okay, good. Do you like guys hot, says woman. Okay. Welcome, Joanna. We will keep going back to the beginning until the wrongs have been righted. Yeah, 100%. I think we need to. Also, remember how Rick was freaked out by his pills changing daily? He worked in a pharmacy you memorized. Absolutely. Right. So this is now 10/29. So this is actually, okay, so the 29th, that the Fox 59 article, oh no, never mind, I lied. This is the 30th, ignore me. So October 30th, 7 p.m., Delphi, Wish TV. The suspect in the 2017 murders of Abby and Libby is not cooperating with authorities, a source tells News 8. What does that mean? What do you need him to cooperate with after you've arrested him and booked him? What do you mean? He wanted an attorney. Y'all, we've solved it. I'm convinced. He wanted an attorney. I know, Criminal Network, we need that deposition. If anyone has the Nicole Robertson deposition, or do even better, Nicole Robertson. Access to Nicole Robertson. Nicole Robertson, if you're here. Nicole Robertson, if you can hear me, please talk to me. I would, of all the things that I want to see that we haven't yet seen, I want to know about that. I want to know what it is that they were looking for at his house, what it is that they fucking found at his house, who even did the search at his house. I'm getting distracted. I want to stay on this topic, but you did a Ron Logan in the chat, and you know that I can't. I like to talk about it, about Ronnie. A source tells the cops say he wants a lawyer. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have to cooperate. Innocent or guilty, you're under no obligation to assist law enforcement. 100%. They don't need you to help them solve the case against you. You help nobody. You certainly don't help yourself anytime you open your mouth and speak to law enforcement. Anyway, so once again, he's been in the Carroll County Jail since the 26th. Actually, no. Hold on, y'all. He was in White County at this point, so he's not cooperating from White County Jail? What? Was he trying to get a letter out? What was he doing? I don't like that. I like that even less than him being in Carroll County Jail and not cooperating, because what do they mean he's not cooperating in the White County Jail? How do they know that he's not cooperating? Why are they talking to him? I know we don't know, Miku, but he did mail his letter from the White County Jail. So according to what just based on what we have so far, until we have more proof, I agree, we are missing days. But they want us to believe, or they've told us that he's booked in Carroll County on the 28th at noon. But that doesn't make any sense either, y'all, because we were also told that he was moved to White County immediately after his initial appearance, which was the 28th at 10 a.m. So he wasn't booked into the Carroll County Jail at noon on the 28th. He may have been booked into the White County Jail on the 28th at noon. 100%. That I could see. So why are they lying and wanting people to think that he's in the Carroll County Jail? None of this is cool. It's not just carelessness and a game of telephone. Like they're purposefully putting out inaccurate, like, disinformation. Oh God, it makes my stomach hurt. It's like scary. Angela says, when it comes to Richard Allen and his arrest in connection with the Delphi murders, there is a name typed under aliases. Some published this name. We won't. The man says that he has no connection to the case. Our sources say that they're not familiar with the name. We don't know why it's there. Angela's reporting was really good. I mean, it still is, but like I think that she was actually like asking questions and digging into shit. You know, we are 100% missing days. They took him somewhere else before they took him to jail. They did something with him. Where was Rick Allen from the 26th to the 28th? Where the fuck was he? So Michael says he was moved to White County within hours after his initial hearing on 10/28. So they're lying. They're telling the media Richard Allen was booked into the Carroll County Jail at noon on 10/28. Arrested and booked at noon on 10/28. Liars, liars, pants on fires. I remember they first made the arrest and no one even knew who it was. They were doing a presser the following Monday. I remember nobody could figure out who it was. Yeah. So this is a screenshot Angela shared. Offender name, Richard Matthew Allen, 50, Carroll County, white. So his race was accurate, at least when he was in the Carroll County Jail initially. Offender ID, they didn't share the alias there. This is also the vibe I'm getting. 10/26 and 10/27 doesn't exist. Deanna, please look at the clip I've sent. Deanna, did you okay. Did you email it or how did you send it? I'm pulling up my email right now. I'm sorry if I've been missing your chats. I'm so sorry. Please look at the Woman help you sent it. Perfect. Thank you, woman, for helping, and thank you, Deanna, for sending. I'm about to pull it up if I can get my email to load. Yeah, I get that. The U.S. DOJ can investigate patterns of civil rights violations or corruption within state law enforcement judicial systems. They sure can, but do they? JC, will they? If they haven't by now, like, my God. This is loading. It's just doing, RAM stuff. It's going to take a minute here. I did a really long mute. I'm sorry. Where did the comment go? Lara says, can't someone ask Rick where he was? Certainly. And maybe they have already. I mean, I'm sure that they have. And we're just, we're not privy to that. But the other thing I worry about is like yes, Rick may be stabilized compared to how sick he was in Westville, but like his brain has been incredibly injured. And I'm not making any assumptions as to like what he can or can't remember. It's just like something that I really try and keep in mind. Like, he's still not well. It's not like he's been given an opportunity to get well. He's not receiving any kind of competent quality medical or mental health treatment. Like, the very best we can hope for is that they just keep him somewhat stabilized and just keep him safe until we can get him the fuck out of there. But yeah, solitary confinement in itself absolutely does not rot, but like it alters your brain makeup. Like it literally alters your brain, as does banging your head really hard on a concrete wall and having concussions and being over medicated and poisoned with Haldol and probably all kinds of side effects and serotonin syndromes and whatever, plus psychosis injures your brain. Like, his poor brain, y'all. He woke up to tell Anne she's muted. Am I still muted? I was going off on mute. I really was. Am I still muted? Oh my God. They asked the state to show them the threats and they said it was a Facebook comment. Where did you see that? I've heard that, Judge Jessica, so many times, like that they gave them a specific example, like a Facebook comment. Where is that said? I've never seen it, but I see people who have seen it. Did y'all block me? Oh my gosh, Jessica Gilman, no. No, but StreamYard is weird. Like, I won't see someone's comments for like the entire live, then all of a sudden I'll start seeing their comments and they'll be sad because they think I'm ignoring them. I don't know why it does that. It's in the transcript. Okay. Oh yeah, Tober, someone's like, yeah, I don't know, I think it was a Facebook comment. Okay. Yeah, okay, guys. A Facebook comment. All right. I believe they have the wrong guy in jail, just dropping in from Kentucky. Good night. Good night, Skip to my Lou. You're in good company. We agree with you. Did the video pull up for you? No. Oops. Deanna, I can't. I checked my mail again. I don't have. Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got it. Okay. I'm going to email you and give you my email. And then I think you can reply to it. Hold on one second. Let me know if you got that, my dear. I was muted for a long time. That was a long mute. Oh, you will find it. Oh. Well, so I feel like there was tons of like mean, threatening emails like, oh, they arrested him finally. Hope that he fucking, I don't know, died. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like every YouTube or every Facebook comment section on every single post involving like any arrest, right? You know what I mean? So I wonder if there was like something specific that they were, if we believe that they actually were like getting threats. TB went back to the medieval times and couldn't find a phone charger. How could there even be any threats for his safety? And no one even knew that he was there. Thank you. Oh, hey, Christina. Nobody even fucking knew that he was there. It's all bullshit. What are y'all watching? I went back in the medieval times and couldn't find a phone charger. YouTube is throttling me again. Everyone make sure you're not in top chat. Yeah, okay, I have no idea. None of the story about Kathy's discovered tip makes any sense. Sign the full URL and I'm on the crank telephone. We've reached that part of the night where, like, I want to rub my eyeballs really bad, but woman won't let me. So I won't do it. Woman keeps all of us alive and well. I'm now just kind of reading the chat because I don't remember what I was trying to find. Do y'all remember what I was talking about like 7 minutes ago? In the hearing, Rosie says that the state can't tell them what comment it was and has no record of it. Ah, there you go. Yeah, that sounds like them. That sounds very familiar. That's their whole MO. No, I don't know. I don't remember. Oh my God. How many of their fucking state idiots got on the stand? No notes, no preparation, no specific dates. I don't remember. Don't touch your eyeballs, but they're itchy. My congestion, and they're so itchy. I have yet to find a face and hand like moisturizer that will take away my lizard dry skin. It's so bad. I'm so itchy all the time. Just itchy all the time. Rosie says that people say anything on Facebook, he's not scared. That's hot. That's hot as fuck. This is like peak Rosie energy. I love it. That is like the OG defense daddy comment. We don't all wear makeup. Eye makeup. It is true though. I really only wear makeup for lives. These are not even my real eyelashes, but like duh. I feel like that's very obvious. We get off here and then I just peel off my eyelashes and my skin like a lizard. I have 8 layers of skin makeup on top of my real face. So that'll be fun. I didn't get anything from you. What is that? Why can't I get it might take a minute. Oh wait, there you are. Oh wait, maybe that's a different man, why isn't this not working? Wait, so not only are Fiend and Shibby and Pitbull men, Criminal Network's also a man? I always think everyone's a woman. That's funny because I feel like I have more of a tendency to assume everyone's a, well, not maybe not on YouTube so much. Definitely on like Reddit and stuff. That's funny. I didn't get anything from you. Deanna, try and do a refresh. If you don't get it again, how are we gonna... Okay, so Deanna, here's my email again. Maybe, do you have like the name of the video? Maybe like me or DB or Miku or Woman or one of us can like find it like on YouTube or something. Doug said he arrested him Friday. What was the date for Friday? Friday was the 28th, Criminal Network, but they were telling people they arrested him on the 28th, but they really, you know, it was the 26th. My cat turned on sticky keys and filter keys. Woman has never touched her face or put her finger in her mouth. She's healthy. I know. And she probably does, you know, drinks a water and does a walk and does a floss, you know. That's so funny. I was just saying that to DB earlier. Something about, you know, absence makes the heart grow nicer or something. I have been continuously surprised by gender over the last 2 years. Rosie is adding all our questions to the list. I'm actually excited. Rosie is adding all of our questions. Nice. I can't wait. Yeah, Wednesday he went to get his car and Holman slapped the cuffs on him. What a motherfucker. Pedro Pascal has to tell people to stop doing the fingers in the eye death fan. Getting picked up. Oh. I saw some of them earlier, Judgy, on like Twitter when people first started sending them in. She'll, and I feel like she'll ask them. What will he answer them? Will he answer them satisfactorily? No. Mm-mm. I drink the most water and flossing is fire. I do like flossing. I'm not gonna lie. I really like to floss. But I have to have a certain kind of floss or else it's not enjoyable. I want to keep going through this, but I'm really tired. I feel like I should probably go to sleep. Oh, I'm not even sharing my... Man. Okay. More of the same. So November 3rd, the judge overseeing the case against Rick Allen has approved a request to transfer him into DOC custody. He's in imminent danger. So this happened so Judge Diener approved Tobe's request by 12:58 p.m. on November 3rd. It was all happening very fast. Judge says rather toxic and harmful insistence on public information, bloodlust. He also said at his initial hearing that he plans to hire his own private counsel. On the 28th, Rick told Diener, "I plan to hire my own private counsel." Except his wife had already the day before. He also wore protective gear. They were fucking, they were fucking with this man. To protect him from the public that didn't even fucking know he was there. This is so frustrating. Oh, wait. But also on 11/3, he says Allen hasn't been transferred into DOC custody yet. So the judge approved it, but he wasn't transferred yet. Breaking, Indiana DOC now has custody of Rick Allen. The department is not releasing which facility he is going to. So it actually was a while before anyone found out that he was at Westville. I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was like a good period of time where no one was really sure where he was being held. Oh my God, I thought I was muted again. Now I was about to just shut the camera. I was about to just do it. Shut. Avon's moisture therapy is the shit. I need it. I'm like lizardy. So lizardy. All the press and gigantic guards surrounding him. All Boogeyman production. Yep. 11/3, 5:56 p.m. Not going to tell anybody where he's going, but he's gone. It's really scary. Just got confirmation from the Indiana DOC. Richard Allen is now in their custody. He was ordered moved there by the now former judge in the Delphi murder case. So many problems with this case from the beginning. I don't just mean the investigation. I mean the case against this man. Their case against him, their treatment of him, the way that they're doing things procedurally. I definitely do need to do that, Miko. Liquid IV. I used to have liquid IV and actually put it in stuff or drink it. Electrolytes. What are the kind you squeeze into the stuff? They wanted, they let him look like Hannibal Lecter. They were banking on people thinking that he was, scary. Okay, so new. Just received what date is this? 11/7. Just received this mugshot of Richard Allen from the Indiana Department of Corrections. He was transferred there last week over safety concerns after being charged in connection with the Delphi murders. He's being held in an undisclosed facility. Still, 11/7. Undisclosed facility in DOC. No one knows where he is. He did not have an attorney yet, guys. He'd been in Westville since the 3rd, begging for an attorney since he wrote the letter. And he still does not have one as of 11/7. His letter wouldn't even arrive at the Carroll Circuit Court until the 7th. By the way, he's wearing red, which means he's in segregation, which we knew already, but it's just bringing it to our attention. This is the new mugshot of Richard Allen. He was moved to an IDOC custody for his protection. The third jail or prison he has been in since his arrest, says Angela Ganote. 11/7 at 8:54 a.m. That's all I did for today. Yeah. What do y'all think? I think they kidnapped Ricky. I think they did a kidnap unto him, you know? Wild. It is wild. What is Corruption County planning since they invested that much money on metal detectors, big screens, stingray devices, streaming something off the dark web? Party. I don't know. God knows. Muted. I'm back. Where was Rick? From 10:26 to 10:28. Where was he? Where was he? We need the transcript of the hearing. I don't know if y'all caught this earlier in the live that Teresa did with Sleuthy, but Sleuthy did email clerk of Carroll Court, Sharon Milburn, who is awesome, you know, as much as they will allow her to be, and asked for the transcript because the public, as we recall, can also request transcripts. They're just more expensive, or they're less expensive after. What is it? It's like 4 or 5 something a page unless the attorney requests it. So once it's already produced, then it's like $1 a page. Anyway, all of that to say, Sleuthy requests the transcript be produced from the 10:28 hearing, and Sharon responds that she has to ask the Allen County court reporter, which is weird because the rule I'm pretty sure that procedurally Sharon would be the person. Like, that hearing took place in Carroll Circuit Court before Judge Diener, before anyone even knew that Allen County or Judge Gull would be touching this case in any capacity. Judge Gull wasn't even the judge. The case was still Ben Diener's case in Carroll County, where clerk Sharon Milburn clerks. So the original record, recording, whatever of it wouldn't even be at Allen County. So why are we asking Jody? Are we seeing the problem? I am no longer convinced that there is any kind of recording of that hearing that exists still or that was ever maintained. Who knows? I'm not convinced that that hearing even actually occurred. At least not how they're saying that it did. When are we going to get a transcript of it? I don't know. Probably never. Gull is going to help them hide it as long as possible. Is there anything like super damning that's going to come out? I mean, I feel like a lot of damning stuff has already come out in the past 2 weeks. Is any of it going to matter for Rick? I don't know. I have a really hard time getting my hopes up in this case, like in general in Indiana, but that doesn't mean that we're going to stop. We just keep cranking. Well, we will find something. Y'all, any final thoughts before I do an Irish? JBD has loose lips. I feel like they need to depose JBD. They need to depose him because he recused to save his hind, I think, and then he resigned to save his hind, and I just don't know why. Save your hind from what, Benny? But what are you running from, Benjamin? What are you hiding from, Benjamin? Imagine if Benjamin was like in the chat. What up, Ben? Interview with JBD. That would be awesome. What kinds of questions would we ask him? I dislike Irish goodbyes. That's fair, Heather. They are kind of like, they're like very abrupt. They happen like, so like I do them to y'all and us, you know, all the time. But like if Fiend or DB come on and like they do me an Irish goodbye unto me, it's like, oh, that didn't feel good. Imagine I was Ben. Judge Jessica. I'm delirious, y'all. If you couldn't tell, we have surpassed. We've crossed the threshold of productive. I have this tab open and it's just spinning and spinning and spinning. It's just been spinning, and I opened it for a reason, and I just don't know what it's going to be when it loads. I have no idea. What is it going to be? What was I going to show y'all? I hope something exciting, something fun. Law enforcement did intentionally fuck up from the beginning. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. Johannes is lovely. I think you need sleep now. I think so too. But Judge Jessica just reminded me that there's 160 people here. Oh my God. I need to go sleep. Post-punk. Hi, post-punk. We need a 24-hour stream. Yeah, we do. I always say I'm going to start my stream. I was like, oh, I should, you know, on days that I have like off or that I have like very light schedule, I'm like, I should like do early streams and just like go. Just like go. But then I never get myself organized in time. So anyway, we'll do it eventually. It'll be great. It's going to be great. I don't know. This tab is going to just spin forever. So we're not going to wait for it. We're just going to go to sleep. It's about to happen. Heather doesn't like Irish goodbyes, and I love Heather. So for a change, we'll just say, good night, everybody. Sleep tight. Do you want me to sing the Sound of Music song? Farewell. It's a little... No, that song's not problematic, right? I mean, they say German words. I don't think it's inherently problematic. Dino knew way too much. He was truly a coward. Yeah, he was. Fuck that guy. I never start anything until 10 p.m. Me either, and I always want to, though. I always have the best intentions. We can do naps. Okay, love you. Bye.